rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawn. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's #1 Chief Rocket Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezie, and welcome to the premiere Knicks in the Nighttime show. The Knicks at Night podcast. Salute, salute, salute. Everybody. What's good? Andrew College is in the building. Andios, what's good? I see you. Justo. What's good, boss? What's good, boss man? Man, salute to everybody out there watching us on X and on YouTube. Salute everybody. What is that? What is that over there? I don't know what that is. Oh, no, I'm gonna just rock with it, man. I'm gonna just go with it. I'm gonna just go with it. I got the green screen behind me, man, and for some reason, this thing over here is just like weird. I don't know. Let me see. It's weird. It's weird, man. I don't know what to do about it, man. I don't know what to do about it. So anyway, the Knicks lose to the Detroit Pistons in heartbreaking fashion, man. It's a game I felt like we had in the bag. I know I probably shouldn't feel this way, but losses, I'm kind of getting used to losses like this. Kind of getting used to it. Teams that rebuilt for forever is all of a sudden beating us on our own floor dancing. I mean, I don't know. I ain't gonna front. Like in terms of them beating us, they beat us. But where I'm was kind of crazy, they beat us, but they out here dancing. Yo, you dancing in the garden now? Yeah. Dudes is rolling dice on the logo. Dudes is dancing on the side. What's going on? I don't know what's going on out here in these NBA streets, bro. There were a lot of things that I saw tonight that I felt like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. There were a lot of things I saw tonight. I don't know if either coach was on their A game. To be honest, I think Detroit was scrappy and overcame some stuff. Right? I think Detroit was scrappy and overcame some stuff. I think the Knicks just do the same stuff over and over again and expect a different result. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw the Pistons go to zone when Cat was stuck at 7 points, and they go to zone, and then the next thing you know, Cat has got it going, and all they had to do was stay in man to man, and they probably could have just cruised to the victory. um, I'm not gonna say that JB Bickerstaff outcoached Tibbs because I don't think he did. I do think though that dude Cade Cunningham is the real deal. I do think Cade is the real deal. Right? And no, and I hear all the trade scenarios all over the internet, like, yo, the Knicks should trade for Malik Beasley, or the Knicks should trade for Isaiah Stewart. Is Jalen Duren available? And all of these things, right? The Pistons ain't trade nobody, bro. The Pistons are gonna get somebody at the trade deadline. The Pistons not gonna do a fire sale. They're gonna add somebody to that talented group of players and try to make a playoff run. They ain't been in the playoffs in so long. What do they have to lose? Games? They've been doing that forever. They ready to win. But the Knicks, however, and I hate to say it, I hate to say it. The Knicks have been getting rid of dogs for a minute now and replacing them with nice guys. And in these moments where you got to get in the back alley, we just don't have we don't have a go-to at this point. I'm tired of Josh Hart and these after the game. I'm tired of seeing Josh Hart run to the microphone. I'm also tired of seeing that. I'm tired of seeing Josh Hart as Tom Thibodeau mouthpiece. I'm tired of seeing that. Yo, we just got to figure out a way. It's halfway through the season. We got to figure out a way. Nah, bro. Nah, Josh Hart. That's 4 games that we've seen Josh Hart lose for us at the end of games and be the first one at the microphone. Like, we got to find a better way to. Or 3 games. I'm sorry, not 4 games. I'm sorry, not 4 games. 3 games that I can recall. The Atlanta game where Josh Hart kept leaving Reese Shea in the corner for 3. The dude was like 1 for 99 before that game. Josh Hart keep leaving him in the corner. Atlanta win. Josh Hart go across Kobe Whitehead in a game. Josh Hart go across Kobe Whitehead. We lose to Chicago. Tonight, Josh Hart helped double team Tim Hardaway Jr. and leave the best 3-point shooter in the building wide open for your 7-foot injured center to run out there and contest. Detroit beat us, they beat us. Ain't no even crying about it. They beat us, they beat us. They beat the Knicks. They didn't, and we didn't give them the game either. They took it. We didn't give the Pistons the game. They took it. We just let this team just laissez-faire throughout the season. Just it's game, man. Listen, we're halfway through the season. saying the same stuff we've been saying since the first game of the season. Oh, they just need time to gel. They need some time to get it together. They need some time to gel. They need some time. Just give them some time. This team will be a championship contender. They just need time. I mean, how much time do you need? Half a year? Half a season? That's how much time you need. Jerry Fitz is in the building. Salute. King Imbert in the building. King Imbert, I ain't gonna front. This is a frustrating loss, but not frustrating because we lost to the Pistons, right? The Pistons beat us. We didn't lose to them. They took the victory from us. Remember, we took the lead. We tied it up. We took the lead. You know, past Pistons teams would have just laid down. They didn't. They kept playing. Cade came down and hit that three. Let everybody know Detroit ain't laying down. When we were down by 2, I'm gonna tell you what I think the turning point in the game was. When we were down by 2, and Jalen Brunson took that 3, and when the 3 was in the air, he knew it was a terrible shot. Son from Brooklyn, salute to everybody from Brooklyn, New York. Salute to all my people from Brooklyn, the Bronx, Staten Island, Long Island, Queens, Manhattan, Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, Yonkers, Harlem, Patterson, Passaic, Newark, Jersey City, Bayonne, Connecticut. I'm frustrated because, and Jerry Fitz, I'm frustrated. And listen, in an 82 game schedule, you're gonna lose some games, bro. Yeah, a reasonable sports fan is gonna accept the fact that in an 82 game schedule, you're gonna lose some games, even at home. Even at home, you're gonna lose some games. See, I'm not frustrated with that as a Knicks fan. What I'm frustrated with, and what you Knicks fans should be frustrated with also, is that we lose the same way all the time with zero adjustments. Zero adjust on a night that, think about this, on a night that you get 20 from McCall, you get 20 from Bridges, right? You get 20 from Bridges, you get 20 from Cat, who's injured. You get 20 from Brunson, who was a game time decision. And you still lose at home? Think about what I'm saying. Bridges breaks out of a shooting slump. Okay, to me, the star of tonight's game for the Knicks, Mikal Bridges. Give him his propers, right? Right? Give him his propers. Got to guard Cade all night. Got to be the on-ball defender because our point guard is not an on-ball defender. So, and we know that. So it ain't, listen, we ain't tripping, right? We're not about to talk about Jalen Brunson defense. That's not what we're here to talk about, right? But Mikal Bridges is our on-ball defender. He's our stopper, basically. OG on the wings, basically. On a night that Mikal Bridges, how many minutes did he play? On a night that Mikal Bridges played 37 minutes, only missed 4 shots, defended Cade the entire game, basically. We wasted a 27 point performance That man had 27 points on 13 shots. That man had 27 points on 13 shots. On a night that the Knicks had 3 players score 26 points or more, we lost. App in the building, salute. On a night that the Knicks had 3 players scored 26 points or more, we lost. And it's not like we gave the game to Detroit. Nah. The Knicks shot 50% from the floor, 40% from 3. They only missed 5 free throws. I think we won the rebounding battle. We had 3 guys score 26 points or more. The starting 5 scored 103 points total. Andrew Collier, Jerry Fitz. Y'all help me understand this. Fitzy, you're a long-time basketball. You're a knowledgeable basketball dude. I know this because I read your comments a lot. Fitz, help me understand. I'm gonna speak to Fitz real quick. Fitz, help me understand this, right? You're a knowledgeable basketball. I read your comments a lot, right? Right? The Knicks starting 5 score 103 points. 3 guys scored 26 points or more. And we lose on our home floor. And mind you, the shots that Malik Beasley hit, those were not game winners. Fitzy, those shots that Malik Beasley hit, those were not game winners. Those were daggers. Allah Wise is in the building. Salute. Those shots that Cade Cunningham hit, those were not game winners. Those were daggers. They already had the lead. And honestly, I had a conversation. I have an ongoing conversation with a diehard Knicks fan named Ty Barbie. He be in the chat sometime, right? Salute Ty Barbie wherever he at. Shout out to Atlanta. Shout out to the A. Shout out to all the down south Knicks fans, right? Knicks fans, I talk to a lot of Knicks. I talk to a lot of Knicks fans all the time, man, in chats and DMs and wherever. Yeah, y'all see me. I don't run from no conversation, man. Y'all know who I am. I don't run from nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't chop it up, man. We chop it up. I don't care. Knicks fans are getting Knicks fans have been telling me they tired, bro. They are talking me to death about Tom Thibodeau. I don't want to have the Tom Thibodeau conversation. I just don't. Because it leads to nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. We're not replacing him. This is the team we got. This is the team we got. How many games have we played? So the Knicks are 26 and 15, right? So we're looking like a 52 and 30 team, right? This team looks like it's going to be a team that's going to be 52 and 30. That's who we are. Basically, a 52 and 30 team. I don't even know how I feel about that. 3 years ago, if you told me we'd be a 52 and 30 team, I would have been excited. Today, I'm looking at a potential record of 52 and 30, and I'm thinking it's a disappointment. I'm thinking it's a disappointment. And it's not because a team that is on a 50 game pace is not a good team. It's one of those teams that reminds me of the Atlanta Hawks of the 90s. No disrespect to Hawks fans, but y'all know what I mean. Win 50 games, get in the playoffs, and the same stuff that stopped you from winning 55, 57 games is the reason why you lose in the second round of the playoffs every year. And I understand tonight, Jalen Brunson was a game time decision. Jericho Sims is out due to injury. Karl Anthony Towns was injured coming into the game, and he got injured during the game. Here's my thing, though, everybody. Here's my thing. And I feel something bubbling up, and I'm trying to keep my cool because, in fairness to y'all don't want to hear a Knicks fan babbling on and on and on and on with random stuff. So I'm trying to keep my cool with some stuff, right? But here's my frustration, and I'll try to be reasonable, right, without bubbling over and going crazy, having a meltdown on the internet. Jalen Brunson was a game time decision with a stinger in his shoulder. And Landry Shamet and Deuce McBride gave us nothing. The main guy is hurt. The reason why you are here and even have a roster spot is so that you can contribute in the backcourt. Deuce McBride in 17 minutes took 2 shots. 1 for 2. Deuce McBride in 17 minutes got you 3 points and 2 assists. And no defense, by the way. No defense. Not in this game. A 6'2 Deuce can't guard 6'6 across the board. And I like Deuce, by the way. But him and Landry Shamet, the Knicks bench got outscored 46-13 today. The bench got outscored 46-13. right? We could talk about Cat missing defensive assignments. We could talk about Cat getting silly fouls all the time. But what is our bench doing? This dude on with broken fingers, and centers are going to get him. Centers get jammed and broken fingers. It's part of the job. It's a part of the job, whatever. Centers are going to get jammed up fingers and hands. It's a part of basketball. Whatever. But what is our bench doing? Precious played 10 minutes of the most unforgettable basketball you have ever seen. And so I'm starting to think, why is Precious even here? And y'all know I love Precious. But hey, man, listen, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If I can criticize Josh, I can criticize Precious. Right? If I can criticize Karl Anthony Towns, I can criticize Precious. If we can criticize Jalen Brunson, you best believe we can criticize Precious Achiuwa. If Jalen Brunson is in our crosshairs, we can criticize Deuce and Precious Achiuwa. And I'm sorry for the Precious fans out there. I'm a Precious fan. But ever since that night he walked off the floor with that hamstring injury, we ain't seen the same Precious. We ain't seen the same Precious. And I'm not trying to turn y'all one way or the other. This is just my opinion. If I'm wrong, if y'all feel like I'm not right, if y'all feel like I'm out of pocket about Precious, y'all let me know. If y'all feel like I'm out of pocket about the bench, y'all let me know. If y'all feel like I'm out of pocket by the way the end of these games look, y'all let me know. I was taking notes, man. Listen, I was taking notes during the game. I got so mad. I was watching the game on playback TV. I was just eating my soup. You know, it's wintertime. Eating my, what is it, chicken and corn? Some type of soup. Some type of soup. Chicken, it's some type of chicken and something, right? Trying to be, whatever. I got so mad. I just stopped taking notes. I'm like, for what? How many times am I going to write down? How many times am I going to write down that Karl Anthony Towns got called for a stupid foul? How many times am I going to write down that Josh Hart passed up an open three? How many times am I going to write down that the Pistons are hunting Jalen Brunson? How many times am I going to write down that Isaiah Stewart has no problem boxing out Precious Achiuwa? Right? East Blue Jewels in the building. Hey, Jeremy, what's good, bro? Salute. Latoria B is in the building. Salute. I'm frustrated, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm frustrated. And I'm not frustrated that we lost. Mind you, I'm not frustrated that we lost a game. It's 82 of them. Nobody goes undefeated. But tonight, I feel like the Pistons took that game away from us. They wanted that game desperately. The Pistons wanted that game desperately, man. And they came into our house and they were not going to be denied. Those shots that the Pistons were hitting at the end of the game, they didn't hit a random game winner. Malik Beasley is a great three-point shooter, and we gave him three-point looks. My frustration is that Friday night after we lost to OKC, right? Friday night after we lost to OKC, nobody was like, I'm mad as hell. We were like, hey, we're going to go back to the film and see what we did wrong. I don't know what I could say to you. I don't, respectfully to you, the person, I can't sit here and shoot you the gas, right? I can't shoot you the gas and be like, yo, the Pistons was cheating, man. I can't shoot you the gas. Y'all saw the game. Like, I can't sit here and shoot you the gas like, you know, man, they did my man Jalen Brunson wrong. Nah, I can't. Nah, it's a trend. Is it? Let me chat. I'm going to ask y'all a question. And this is not me trying to contrive a narrative, right? I'm not trying to contrive a narrative. This is me being honest and straightforward, right? This is not me shooting y'all the gas. I ain't gonna shoot y'all the gas for what? I ain't gonna shoot y'all the gas, man. I'm gonna be straight up, man. Have respect for people. Do y'all believe you can just throw a bunch of talented people on the floor and they'll win a championship? That's my question. The New York Knicks is in the building. Salute. Salute. Chat. YouTube. X. Do you think you can just throw a bunch of talented players on the floor and then that talent can win you a championship? That's my question. I don't have an answer, and I'm not trying to push you one way or the other. I want y'all to answer that truthfully to me, or just in general. Just in general, can you just put talent together and expect them to win a championship? I don't have the answer. I do have the question. I don't have the answer. I don't know what to tell everybody. I don't know if I'm gonna take this thing down, man. I got a green screen behind me, so if you just see like the green screen behind me, y'all just pardon that, man. I don't like the way that looked. Let me put that back up. Yeah, there we go. I mean, I don't like. I ain't like the way that looked just now, man. I'm gonna try a different background. It's doing the same thing. Okay, all right. There we go. I don't know. I'm not saying that the roster is a bad roster. I'm not saying that the coach is a bad coach, right? I'm not saying that the veterans that we brought in is the wrong mix of veterans. What I am saying is that we are not getting the result that we thought that we were going to get when we put this roster together. And I'm glad that Toria B said that this current roster has the right balance of talent. It's not just superstars thrown together. Right. We're not the Phoenix Suns. We don't look like the Phoenix Suns out here. Right. We don't look like the Phoenix Suns out here where you just throw random players together, regardless of position, and think that you could just figure it out on the fly. That's not how this team is built. Corey Lee in a place to be. Corey Lee, hey, thank you for your generous contribution. Corey Lee says, to answer your question, hell nah, it takes sacrifice from everybody involved, from front office to the ball boys, for sure. Otherwise says anything is possible, just unlikely if we're not on the string. Right, for sure. For sure. Hey, I appreciate the jokes right there, y'all. I ain't gonna front, because it kind of caught me off guard. You know, like for some of y'all, like when I see y'all comments, I read them sight unseen. Like I'd be like, oh yeah, Latoria B got something. Let me click on it. So for some of y'all, when y'all put y'all comments out there, man, I just go straight to it, man. And thank y'all, man, for the laugh, because thank y'all for the laugh, man, because we need it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that great. Yeah, I know. I'm trying my best back here, man. This is my little work from home office that I'm in, so I'm trying stuff. And I painted a couple of weeks ago, man, and just trying some stuff and trying to, but whatever. We got to do something, man. We got to do something, right? I think tonight's game was taken from us in a sense. I think the offensive foul on Cat was Fugazi. Right? I think the offensive foul on Cat was Fugazi. Like, it could have been called, and then it could not have been called. But why do you call it right there when you didn't call it on the 2 trips down the floor before when the Pistons was doing it? Man, Augustin Richardson, man, thank you for coming through, hanging out with us. Richardson says this. Hey, Richardson, you from the Bronx? Richardson, where you from? Richardson, tell me where you from. Tell me where you from. Put it in the chat. Hey, tell me where you from. Put it in the chat. Hey, Latoria B, this might be our cousin right here. If he's from the Bronx, that's our cousin. Oh, man, I don't know you, man. Richardson, you almost had me, dog. I don't know you. All right, Richardson. Hey, you had me, bro. Hey, if you was from South Bronx, right? You almost had me. You almost had me. Right? You almost had me. from Brooklyn. Yeah, I'm not related to no Richardsons in Brooklyn, right? But I am related to any Jacksons that you know in the Bronx, any Jacksons, Greens, Sims with one M, them my people. Right? Them my people. And Notoria B say Bronx stand up. Bronx, get up on your feet. Y'all heard me. BX, get up on your feet. Stand up. Y'all heard me. Salute to the greatest borough God ever created, man. The Bronx, New York. Bronx, New York, get up on your feet. Stand up. And I say that as somebody from Jersey City who grandfather lived in the Bronx. And I used to spend summers in the Bronx, man. My grandfather, Pee Wee, used to drive buses in the Bronx. Yeah, man. My grandfather, Pee Wee Sims, used to drive buses in the Bronx for like 30 years. Shout out to Eddie C. Think I saw Eddie C in here. Shout out to Eddie C. Mike Hansen says, is this Knicks team is too Hollywood? Last year's teams was better vibes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Castle Hill, stand up. Castle Hill is in the building. Salute. East Blue Juice says, why do we look lost when 3 of our players have experience together and Cat used to play for Tibbs? Like, how is we still? I don't know. Yo, that's a great question. There you go. I was wondering what you was doing, bro. You've been backstage forever. You had to plug your mic in?
Yeah, man. I had a problem with my mic right now, but
Oh, okay. Okay. What's good, bro?
man, salute to everybody, man. I'm really depressed by today's win. Hopefully. Today's loss, bro. I'm definitely jumping out the window 41 games in, 42 games in, whatever it is.
Right.
And I'm calling for the coach, and I'm just, you know what I am? I'm calling for the heart of this team. This is one of the teams where I've been saying we have the highest floor and the highest ceiling and the lowest floor of any NBA team that I've seen.
Right.
And it's just despicable how these, tough teams come in and just punch us in the mouth, and we have no fight. We have no heart. We have no. So I'm depressed, man. I've been all over YouTube today. I just finished my shift, and I'm still gonna get on this platform and get everything I have off my chest, because this is despicable, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Go ahead and cook, bro. Go ahead and cook.
Tom Thibodeau, he's doing a horrible job this season. He's never done in-game adjustments. And today we let Malik Beasley hit 2 threes on us on the same spot 2 times in a row. He called a timeout and he still couldn't stop it. Our defense has been horrendous the whole year. Mikal Bridges, one of the best defensive wings in the NBA, has looked lost. Karl Anthony Towns in the drop back has been the worst defensive center in the whole league, I think, man. For all the offensive production that he's done this year, he's been the worst defensive center that I've seen. He's in the Domantas Sabonis realm of defensive centers in the league. I think Vujacic is even better defensively than Cat right now.
Oh, relax. Bro.
Yeah.
Vucevic?
Did you see the play that he did yesterday?
No, I didn't see it.
Well, he did a tremendous defensive job at the end of the game, something that I wouldn't see Cat do. Like, I'm not trying to downgrade Cat, because I know how good of an offensive talent he is, but we need to tell him drop back, but get your hands up. And it's like, yo, like this is like simple things that are just not being adjusted to on a game to game basis. And it's every single game we're seeing these tough, athletic Houston Rockets, Detroit Pistons, these teams that are just athletic.
Oklahoma City,
Oklahoma City is in an even different realm, but
Chicago Bulls.
Oklahoma's, how is Jalen Williams like Freezie? I know if you're bigger than a guy, the first thing that comes to mind is for you to post up that guy, right? But if you're so gifted offensively, why don't you just face him up, hit a jump shot over him? You don't need to bang and bang and bang if you're not getting the call. If he's been defending you well, Jalen Williams has done that twice to us this year. When we face the Boston Celtics, you don't think what do they do every time we play them? They put, what's this kid's name, the point guard?
Drew Holiday.
They put Holiday on him. Like, everybody knows it's coming, and Cat is not going to be able to post him. Yo, face him up, shoot a bank shot, do a Tim Duncan on him. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to be able to block his shot. But these are just adjustments that anybody can see, where it's like we need to do these types of things, man, and it's just despicable right now. Like, I haven't gone into Knicks GM. If you're here, salute to you, man. He's like, yo, man, I haven't seen you in a minute, and I've been waiting for this moment right here to come and talk, because this is just, I'm done with it, man. And I don't do like this sort of stuff, but it's just every single time we play these types of teams, I'm probably reeling from the Thunder loss, but like they didn't prove anything to me with Milwaukee. Milwaukee's reeling themselves.
Right.
Doc Rivers is a bad coach himself. I don't know. I think it was Clyde that was saying that he's top 15. Clyde was bumbling and stumbling. I don't even know what he was talking about. He was saying he was getting all the names wrong, and sometimes he didn't even know who we played. Sometime talking about Doc Rivers as a top 15 coach.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
I mean, it's just I'm just lost. I'm a loss for words right now. I'm just lost, bro.
That's why I think you're wrong. I don't think you at a loss for words. I just think you have so much to say but you at the same time you have all these frustrations, and like, because I can hear it in your voice that you have a lot to say, but just the frustration is like overwhelming to you and to me also. Because I feel you when you brought up the Sabonis and Vucevic thing. I was like, oh yeah, Eddie C is scorching hot right now, bro. He mad as hell, basically.
I'm pissed. I'm really, really pissed. I'm really, really pissed, because how is Mikal Bridges digress so much? I mean, OG Anunoby looks lost right now. And these are supposed to be our bookends. These are supposed to be the two players that are bringing us to a championship. And I don't care how many points Mikal scores, bro. It's just it, and it's not like he can't do it. I just think that Tibbs' scheme has always been a defensive center. Somebody who can block shots. He's always let players get into the middle of the lane, and the defensive center is supposed to wipe away all his bad habits.
Okay.
Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, they're not what he's used to. You know what I'm saying? He's always had a Joakim Noah. He's always had a Mitchell Robinson. He's always had this type of player, where his scheme works. But he has these two big defensive wings, and he does not know what to do with them.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if he doesn't know what to do with them, but they're not showing it on the court.
Right.
And Mikal Bridges, man, like, listen, we gave up a lot. We gave up a lot for him. And I mean, he's supposed to be a two-way guy. He's supposed to be somebody like, I'm not really looking for Mikal Bridges to be an offensive juggernaut. I'm looking for him to be a great wing defender. He's, to me, when he was in Phoenix, he wasn't a top of the key defender. He was a wing defender. He would stay at the wing and he would get a lot of steals at the wing and he would do his work from there. Go to the basket. You see, when he goes to the basket, he's a great finisher around the basket.
Right.
Because he gets the steal and he runs. But now we have him at the top of the key, and I don't even know if that's his lane. And who do we have? I mean, Brunson is a liability on defense. And Hart, I love Hart, but he just makes a lot of defensive mistakes. He's not an on-ball defender.
Yeah.
Hart is a great defensive rebounder. You know,
Right.
and he's the heart of the team. But is he really a starter?
I'm hoping that's a rhetorical question, right?
I guess, man, because I mean, what are the answers? Eddie C, you point out the fact Tibbs likes a type of big, but don't speak to the type of big we got. But say he can't get the wings to play. Yeah, like what type of defense are we playing? Like, what are we doing? Every time, these players just get into the middle of the lane, and they just score over Cat time and time again.
Right.
In the third quarter, Cade Cunningham went into the middle of the lane, and he just dropped layups on us the whole time. So what is the type of defensive scheme that if we're waiting for our center to come and block these shots, Cat is not the guy. I love Cat for us. But the team is different. The team is different. We lost a lot of toughness when we gave up Juju, when we gave up Dante DiVincenzo. There was a lot of toughness between those two guys.
Right.
And we didn't replace it.
Right.
You can say last year that Dante DiVincenzo was our enforcer.
Yeah. You can say that.
And what do we do to replace him? I mean, Mikal Bridges, he's not that. The toughest guy right now, Freezie, this is so embarrassing to say. The toughest guy that we have is probably campaign.
Hold that thought right there. Hold that thought.
Yo, what's good? What's good, Freezie? What's good, Eddie?
What's
up,
good? What's good?
What's
bad? What's all bad? What's all bad?
Did you see the game, bro?
Man, bro, I can't even. Freezie, you when you started out on monologue, you mentioned like how they didn't pick up the slack for Brunson in the backcourt. That was absolutely correct. But some of these errors that I'm seeing, I feel like the coach is not having them prepared enough for the modern game. Personally, like how
That's
do we
exactly what Eddie C said when he first got here. He just said it in different words.
Like, how many times do we wait until the other team's best player gets 35, then we start doubling him? When we go against other teams, when we went against the Cavs, Kenny Atkins, he just got that team. You know what they did to Brunson? They were showing double trapping, getting the ball out of his hands. because they know they have to establish a certain level of defensive intensity and a certain tactic that you might have to use later on in a playoff type scenario. So you have to get these things out the way. We don't even know how to do the scramble drill out of a trap
Out of a
correctly.
trap, right? Right.
And when you
So the scramble drill out of a trap, basically sink your inside hip on the court. That way you can scramble to the closest man, right? You can pick up the closest man. You don't want to give away passing lanes because you don't want to give up a layup drill at the rim. Is
exactly,
basically what Dre's saying. If y'all can imagine that, like if you trap and you got to scramble, you open up to the floor. So for one, you can see vision, you can see all over the floor, but you can scramble or at least communicate to the guy that's going to be open,
yep,
right?
yep, absolutely. And when you see, it's night and day when you see the elite teams play in this league. We just played OKC twice. You know how many times they blitzed Brunson, and on their backside they were rotating all in unison,
Yeah,
all in an accord with certain rules for who not to close out on, for who to close out on.
right.
Contextual closes, like how you defend it is like it's contextual to who you're going against. And when you see us, you got this man Josh Hart flying out on the first time in your life you ever seen Tim Hardaway Jr. not want to shoot, and
Right.
he flying out and double teaming this man when he's dribbling with his left hand and
And
they up
Jalen
one.
Brunson is already there.
It's like in order to even get these things right and corrected, you actually have to practice them. You actually have to try these things. Freezy, we 5 years in underneath Tom Thibodeau with more talent, and we still don't know how to crack a zone. And we talking, and we could put it on all the players all you want. Preparation, preparation can show you the difference between two teams. You drop a zone on the Cavs and see how quickly you drop 140, 145, 150. Bro, it's just mind boggling. Like we just run around like chickens with their head cut off when it's pressure time. And some of that has to do with being tired because we're on a back to back. But I'm not even gonna give them the complete cop out for that because every game it feels like we come out slow. It feels like we trying to figure out what the opponent is doing
Yeah,
instead of imposing our will.
that to me, the tired talk. That's another point where I'm just like, yo, that is just the most. We're like the youngest old team in the world, bro.
And it's just like
We're the youngest, oldest team in the whole league.
even with that point though, Eddie, the Pistons are playing like bro. They played a rookie in the fourth quarter. They gave that boy Ron Holland high leverage minutes
Where is
because you need to know what you have from what you don't have.
but
And we
Holland is a
halfway in there.
Holland is a high IQ defensive player.
Yeah,
We don't like our highest IQ defensive player from the young core that we have is Hawk Porty.
and
Why
he's
don't
not
you
ready
play
yet.
Hawk Porty
Well,
with Cat sometimes?
I
Hey,
can I
hey,
can agree.
hold on, right there, hold on, right there. Let me bring my guy in. Hold on, where's his? Hold on, bear with me. Hold on.
What up, Corey?
Hey, what's up, boss? Let me do this real quick. Corey Lee, thank you for the generous contribution. Corey Lee says it's tough managing egos, especially if the team doesn't buy in. Attacking Tibbs is low hanging fruit. Look at the
Nah,
ingredients that he didn't buy. Roses. This is the time. Time cry over spilled milk.
if you think Tom Thibodeau didn't have input on this roster, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you, Corey. If you think Tom Thibodeau didn't want Mikal Bridges on this team for what he's done in the past, nah, I can't let that fly. Nah,
Yeah.
I can't. And even then, this talent itself is good enough.
Yeah.
Like we don't watch them get out coached probably 4 times in the last 5 6 games against team. Like no, Corey, you watched the OKC game and you didn't think he got out coached.
Hey, we can't hear you. Hey, your microphone muffled.
Yeah, your microphone.
Yeah, your microphone muffled, bro. No.
No.
No. No. Your microphone. Yeah, your microphone muffled bad, bro. I'm gonna have Lee right here, and then when Lee be ready, he give me that. But yeah, man.
I can't let him off the hook.
Yeah.
Personally.
For that one, to me is, but Eddie, see, I do want to say this though, bro, about the tired thing. Dudes get tired.
It happens.
It's a part of it, bro. It's not like when we run all day on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? We just hoop all day on Saturday. And then at the end of the day, we be tired, but then we go home and do other stuff like cut the grass. Like you play about 6 full court games on Saturday. 6 is a lot too, by the way. You play 6 full courts, you know what I'm saying? And then you go home and the missus be like, yo, you out there playing basketball, you need to cut the grass. And then you go out there and cut the grass, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Yeah, you got to pull your mower. You got to walk all the way back to the back of your yard and get the mower out and get the trimmer and all that stuff. For those that cut their own grass. But y'all understand, these dudes basically, like when you look at the minutes that they play, man, it's not just like that, bro. It's like
the thing is,
these dudes run 10Ks every other day.
But the thing is this, it's because the offense isn't tailored to them playing an easy offense. Like, why do we always have Brunson bringing up the ball?
I agree. Great point.
There's different ways where you can. I think Jalen Brunson as an off guard is amazing.
Me too.
There's ways that you can go at it where Josh Hart can bring up the ball. Mikal Bridges can bring up the ball. There's different ways. You don't have to have him bringing up the ball.
Man, the Sixers let Joel Embiid bring the ball up the floor, bro.
Did you see a couple of games ago with Jericho Sims of last time Jericho Sims played where he brought up the ball a couple of times?
Yeah.
And it helped and it just helped the offense just breathe.
And it give the defense a different look.
I'll shoot Tibbs some bail. In the last game before tonight, he was bringing up like Josh was bringing the ball up. But
right.
This is what smart coaches do. They know Josh Hart is not a very good defender that can handle ball pressure. Teams know if you run a 10-man rotation against us, eventually you're gonna tire us out. You play an up and down style,
right?
We're gonna have dead legs in the fourth quarter. That's been the recurring theme. We haven't been able to execute in fourth quarters recently.
Dead legs in the fourth quarter, bro.
If that's any theme that we've been seeing over the last however many games that we lost, and mostly we just not making shots or executing.
But the thing is this to me: last year we played a lot of minutes too, but there was just a different type of fight. There was just a different type of bite in the team because we looked tired last year at the end of the fourth quarter. But
there were different types of personalities in the locker room.
That was different. It was.
Can I say that? Can I speak now? Because y'all didn't talk for about a half hour.
So what? We didn't been talking for half an hour.
I just got here.
I'm just saying. I wasn't being literal.
I'm agreeing. I'm saying exactly what you're saying.
Eddie, hold on, Eddie. Hold on for a second. Lee, we don't give a shit if we've been talking for a half an hour.
So I can't get in the conversation. I can't get my opinion in.
You coming in here like, yo, we've been talking for half an hour?
Bro, come on now. I'm just saying, I'm trying to get my point in real quick.
That's all you had to say, dog. You ain't got to be coming for my neck, dog.
I wasn't coming for your neck. Now, but Freezie, stop that, man. You taking that too personal.
This man came straight in the joint talking about, yo, y'all been talking for half an hour.
No, because I was trying to get my point off earlier when when my speaker was my phone. That was my fault, and I apologize for that.
And we waited for you, and then as soon as
And I apologize. And I said, "Give me a second, let me adjust." And when I got in, I was trying to speak.
You been backstage for 3 seconds.
Oh, here we go. All right. Well, if that's the case, then I apologize for the misunderstanding. How about that, fellas?
Go ahead, cook, Corey. Go ahead.
Yeah, bro.
My point is this.
Anyway.
Listen. And I'm not trying to go backwards, and I'm not trying to cry with spilt milk. I honestly think this team was rushed together, put together too quick, without no fail safes. And not to say that every team has one. You understand what I'm saying? The point of it all is that you ask this man to manage these egos. We got 2 big egos right there in that locker room. Huge. I'm not saying they don't get along, they don't like each other.
Nah, man, you know that's bull crap, yo. They ain't no damn egos.
Now you cut me off. Now you cut me off, bro.
Yeah, because you was cutting me off. I was talking before you started talking.
All right, you got it, man. I'm done, man. You got to edit sheet. You can rock all night by yourself.
Egos, yo, Cat is the softest damn center we have in the whole damn league. Mikal Bridges is the nicest wing that we have. OG
it doesn't matter. It means personalities.
What
you can sell what you want to sell. Listen,
Juju
bro, you don't know what goes behind closed doors, and all you know is what they sold you on, Julius Randle.
About what?
The narrative.
And look what he did last year with those personalities. And you're gonna come at me with Mikal Bridges is a personality?
I didn't say Mikal Bridges. I didn't say Mikal Bridges.
So what personality?
To my cat, and the captain. They have to coincide together.
Oh God! So now Jalen Brunson is a personality,
bro. You don't get it, bro. The man got. You don't think that man got an effing ego? You don't think he got something to prove? Hold on a second, yo. You was a national college player. No, he was a national college player of the year, and he got drafted in the 2nd round. Yo, he felt like he was getting ished on by Dallas. Man. He come to New York. He gets to show his talent. No, you're not understanding. You're not understanding. You're not understanding stepping into roles of leadership and understanding how you can make the team better without just pushing yourself in the front, bro.
Oh, so that's what you talk about.
That's a job. That's a job of a captain.
So that's what you're talking about.
The captain has to lead by example. Cat, who is the highest paid player, has to try to assimilate himself onto this team.
So that's what you talk about when Josh Hart says we got to check our egos?
Hey, I don't know. Call Josh Hart and ask him that question.
Man, hold on. Karl Towns has done nothing but call Jalen Brunson captain every single chance he gets. He done bought $1 billion worth of Knicks merch, trying to fit in as hard as he can.
He probably got a Blanche Tears sweatshirt on right now.
He acquiesced to every Knicks legend. He comes talk to Pat as much as possible. He got his father sitting courtside wearing Knicks gear every single night. It ain't that. They literally are just not executing. I don't care about this personality stuff. I'm just talking straight X's and O's. We failing X's and O's. We're not executing. We playing like morons. That's it. I ain't got nothing to do with this narrative, this ego. Like, yeah, they have egos. They're $1 million basketball players, but they also they're also not stupid and unintelligible and don't know how to cooperate or communicate. I think they just
obviously the latter right there, what you just said, is the issue we're dealing with now.
Well, they've all been on winning teams at some point in their careers. Everybody in that starting lineup besides Josh has been in a Western Conference Finals team.
Good point. Yeah. Even dudes on the bench.
I mean, OG has been on the Eastern. OG got a championship ring. He knows what it takes.
Yeah.
So when we talk about these things, we got to take a step back and stop trying to make it like salacious, like personality stuff. Like, it ain't just.
Oh no! I just said managing egos. I didn't say it was an ego issue. I'm saying managing them and making them cohabitate in the same space where they both feel like they're contributing the most for the team.
I don't. The only person that might feel that way is maybe OG, and he already knows what it takes to sacrifice to win a championship. He done seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
He done sat on a bench injured, and he couldn't even play. He could see his
Yeah,
teammates.
he got injured. He had a emergency appendectomy right before the playoffs started.
Yeah, so he knows. So and he got paid, but it's to me, if you ask me personally, I don't think the players are put in the most optimal place to execute what needs to be done to win on a night in and night out basis. Not consistently. I'm watching the two plays where we had breakdowns to wide open threes, and all of that could have been easily avoidable if we actually practiced how do we react to when we trap a superstar player. Because at some point you're gonna have to do it. At some point, that counter to be one pass away, that should never happen. If OKC decides to blitz Brunson, you think you getting an easy three out the corner of one extra pass? If the Cavs decide to blitz Brunson, you think you getting an extra pass? You getting a swing open three in that moment, last minute of the game?
Yo, this is Tibbs. My grandfather is the most experienced man in the whole world, but he tells me the same story like 3-4 times a day.
Like you can't make it up if you're trying to compete at the highest level. Matter of fact, you shouldn't even fall victim to the same play back to back, let alone in the last minute.
He tells me the same story 3 or 4 times a day.
That man,
why Dre, dude, why does that happen?
Because
why does that the two plays that this man Malik Beasley hit 2 3-pointers in the same spot,
wide open off the same trap. K bringing the ball up far right, we trap him or blitz him, and we don't know how to rotate or correctly rotate. We got Josh Hart. We got Josh Hart.
So nobody anticipated that.
This is the simplest. This is probably the why is Cat out there on the defensive? Like, didn't we have a timeout?
Yeah, number one, when you was watching Bickerstaff, he was doing offensive and defensive substitution on every dead ball.
He was bringing in Asar, and then he was taking him out on the offensive end, and then he was bringing right.
And we got this man Tom Thibodeau just sitting there.
Thibodeau only does it at the end of the first half. When we need a shot, he brings in Cat for like 3 seconds. And Cat doesn't even touch the ball.
And like, for everything that Brunson isn't on defense, for everything that Cat isn't on defense, if you have quote unquote 3 defensive wings performing optimally on a string, they can hold together 2 bad defenders. I done seen a championship with 2 bad defenders being held up with 3 good wing players. I done seen it before.
Yeah, you saw it with Denver.
Exactly. So you can't give me
with
that.
Denver, man. You saw it with Golden State. Yeah.
You can't give me that. They out there with Kevon Looney starting at center against the Celtics with a billion wins.
Even when the Detroit Pistons won their championship, Billups wasn't a great defender. Neither was Rip.
And they're not on a string, and I can only attribute that to coaching. When we go on the offensive end, we coming down. Everything slows down into a complete halt. We got some like off-ball action.
My thing is freezing up for some reason. I'm gonna turn this camera off, but I'm here.
Okay, everything when we go on the opposite end on offense, we don't even know how to crack a zone, and we got 10 times more talent than what we started with Tom Thibodeau, and he still don't know how to crack his zone. And he probably don't know how to crack his zone because he doesn't even know how to apply his zone. We see teams every night exhibit 2, 3, sometimes 4 or 5 different defenses, and we run in the same drop coverage when we know Karl Towns isn't a great drop coverage big. He's a solid switching big. He's shown that ability last year.
He's great when he has to guard like up, right?
Yeah, like he can come up in a switch.
How many times? I think I've seen that once this year.
Yeah, and he's shown that ability on the Wolves. But that's beside the point. That goes against what Tibbs thinks is the way to win basketball games.
Yeah, but that's stupid.
And if that goes against his internal monologue, it's not going to fly for him. That's why you don't see.
I think y'all got away from Corey Lee point though.
Oh, my fault. Well,
Yeah, that wasn't what Lee
the
was talking about.
personality.
Lee, that's not what you was talking about, right?
He was talking about the egos and the personality parts, and I'm just like, I can understand it because when you like these dudes making hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, of course, you done made it. You done so much to make it to this point. There's only but 400 spots in the NBA, and you're a high level player. So I understand that part, but I also feel like winning cures all. And if you think egos might come into a part, Phil Jackson is called a Zen master for a reason. I guess egos do
Mhm.
matter, but I don't. I don't.
We don't have him, bro. We don't
No,
have
no,
him.
no. I'm agreeing to your point, but I'm saying I can't. I can't view it as an ego thing. I just think they're executing. I think the players are not prepared for when they get hit in the mouth and they don't know how to respond with a 2025 answer. They out here they out here punching, they out here boxing like it's 1920s with the fist up. Like, bro, I don't, it don't make no sense how I see teams across the league have modern defenses with pivots and changes on the fly on a drop of a hat. They can change their coverages, but we doing the same thing over and over and over.
Because my
And
grandfather keeps on telling me the same story 4 times a day.
I think the
No, but
game.
that's what it is, bro. It's like, yo, like I love Tom Thibodeau for all that he's done so far up to this point, but enough is enough. Since the Atlanta series 3 years ago, he has not changed.
Quiet money. I got as many
Wow,
championships.
you are just holding on to baggage, B.
No, what do you mean
Yeah,
holding on to baggage? He's doing the same thing today.
That doesn't mean he's a bad coach. I think there's just a limit. There's just a fine line of how
It's
far you
but
can go.
we've been saying this for how many years now? So it's like, yo, now we have
At
a
what
team that
point?
can
Because you wasn't
defend.
saying that. You wasn't saying that to the 9-game winning streak, though.
We
I
ain't beat
haven't
no
said
real good
anything. I
teams.
haven't said anything until today.
I, my
I
thing.
hold
I
my
said I
tongue.
said
I hold my tongue until when I need to speak, and this is enough.
Corey.
Like we have a team that should win a championship, and we're not playing championship defense. We're not playing championship offense. We're not playing championship wherewithal. We're not doing anything.
You know what? Paper looks better than players.
I said this from jump, Corey. I
Whatever.
think I think the best iteration of this team is probably not going to be this season, and I think you need a few transaction cycles in order to fill out what you the idea of this team to come
yeah.
to full
You talking
fruition.
about you talking about when Jalen Brunson turned 29 and when Cat be 30, when Josh Hart be 30,
Yeah, but
like
also too,
in
Dre.
I,
that sweet spot
I,
area.
well, that
I
and
agree. I agree.
but
I
hold
agree
on,
with you to this extent, Dre,
hold
and
on, Eddie.
I'll let you cook. I'll
Okay,
agree
go
with
ahead.
you until this extent that probably next year's iteration will be better than this year's iteration. But like the Golden State Warriors did with Mark Jackson, we need a defense. We need a different coach.
I think
And
I think
I'm gonna say this too, real quick, Dre,
go
before
ahead,
you get
Corey. Go
started.
ahead, Corey. Yeah,
You
go ahead.
said we should not be going through half these issues because of the shooting. The shooting ain't shot us out of nothing. Our defense is whack. You understand what I'm saying? This is what I'm just saying. So
Every game got its own stories, but there are flaws on both ends, with shooting or without the shooting. Like even in games we do win, sometimes we overcome it because we have our normal or typical shooting. And but there are flaws. Like even the game we won last night against the Bucks, there were flaws in the logic and how we were playing, and we could get away with it when we have better talent than other teams. But when there's like a mismatch or there's like a superstar on the other team that can single handedly pull a team together and win a game, you start seeing some of the flaws get pulled up. We struggle with pick and roll defense because Tibbs only wants pick and roll defense in one or two ways, and once that gets figured out, it's done. Remember the game against Atlanta? We threw out a defensive scheme against Trey Young, and it confused him. And then he eventually figured it out. Then we had no pivot, and then we were done. And that's been the theme under Tom Thibodeau. against a lot of teams over the last 5 years. We figure it like Thibodeau will get us prepared for the first half of the game. And then once the other team has a guy that adjusts, it's hard for him to adjust to the adjustment. And because we don't have that many pivots, because he doesn't prepare us to have that many pivots. We don't practice zone defenses. We don't really practice switching. We don't practice blitzing all that often. We go to it when it's a dire emergency. And when you go to it when it's only dire, you have these incidences at the end of games where you get beat by the same trap over and over. You can't tell me the Boston Celtics, the Cavaliers, or OKC would come down and trap a ball handler on the right wing, and 2 passes, they'll get an open 3. It don't even matter who on the court. They wouldn't get an open 3 with that look with Al Horford on the court. They wouldn't get that open look with Luke Cornett on the court. Some of that is preparation. Some of that is basketball IQ of the players. Some of that you got to drill that in as a coach.
Bro, but some of these cats have been in the league.
You saw Corey.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead, my fault.
Go ahead, Lee.
My question is, do you not think after all these years, these young men have been playing this game? What half the team? Well, no, half the team is like in their mid to late 30s. You know what I'm saying? Other than the rookies and maybe Deuce.
Nobody's in their mid to late 30s. Nobody's.
I'm not mid. I mean, mid to late 20s. I'm sorry. No, like they're pushing 30. They've been in the league for some of them almost 10 years now. 2 or 3 of them. My point to you is, how long does it take for you to get basketball IQ, bro? You've been playing the same game. Game.
Corey, I'll flip it on you. Tom Thibodeau been coaching longer than these players been alive. Tom Thibodeau is making $10 million a year. What's his excuse?
Latoya B, thank you for the generous contribution. Latoya B says, I think we can all agree Tibbs is a great coach, but he just may not be the coach for this team. Thank you for your generous contribution, Latoya B. Shout out to the Bronx, New York, the greatest borough that God ever created.
And that might be possible. Great chat.
I'll put it this way. If we had like a tragic injury, we're going to go on a win streak because Tibbs knows how to maximize when the chips are down. He don't know how to maximize when he got premium talent. And I think this is just too much for him to handle. And he's just sitting there idle.
So
he's sitting there idle. Hold on, I'll give you this too, Corey. When we was coming down the stretch for this game, why the Pistons coach was substituting offense defense every single time, and Tom Thibodeau was just watching. What's like if you're going to implement a trapping type defense to get the ball out of K's hands, right? Why are you not switching offense defense subs then? If that's what you really want to do, like he sometimes it just be the game be passing about. Like sometimes I put it even this way: he's slow to react to things. A lot of times Tibbs could challenge something and he just doesn't. When you look around, like he has maybe like 18 total challenges. When you look around the Mazzulas, the Mark Dagnos of OKC, the coach Kenny Atkinson, all them dudes are in the 30s in total challenges taken because they're proactive, not reactive. Tibbs will just Tibbs will play this shell defense and wait until the team destroys him and gets to like 30 points, and then he'll start trying to blitz him. I'm like, it's too late now to blitz, and you don't even do this. We don't even blitz dudes to even have the rotations on the back end solidly down. We don't drill these things. So how you expect them to just automatically pick it up perfectly? When you look across OKC plays defense like it's the playoffs every night from day one. From day one. They show you a myriad of looks. And you know how I can prove that? When you see Jalen Brunson bring the ball up the court, he's not seeing the same defense every single time. Even tonight, he's not seeing the same defense every single time. He just so happens to be talented enough to score in a myriad of ways. But is Tom Thibodeau making a job easy for him? No, absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is he making a job? Is he making
I still
Derrick
don't. I
Brooks'
still
job
don't think
easier?
that was the point that Lee was saying when he came
Use
in here for our throats. Lee was saying when Lee came in here for our throats, Lee was trying to bring up the ego point about sharing the basketball and who had the egos and such. And Lee, to that point that you
And
brought in,
making the right decisions at the right time, caring about winning more so than, you know what I'm saying, putting it all on themselves. And that goes for every single one of them individuals out there on the court.
I,
Period.
I understand what you're saying. I hear you. I hear you, right? But here's the point that I'm trying to say to you, and to your point, not you, but to the point that you made. Because I hear you. I heard what you said, right? I didn't ignore you. I heard what you said. What I'm saying to you is that I think it's the little boy that cried wolf, right? How is the guy that points out ego the one that we saw lose 3 games at the end of a game? We saw it with our own eye. We saw it tonight when he double teamed a non-shooter and left the best shooter in the NBA right now wide open.
twice.
He did that.
The Bulls game, the foul.
You remember the Atlanta game? Remember the Atlanta
Oh
game?
my God, man.
The Atlanta game, right? The Chicago game when he fouled Kobe White against the head. Remember that?
Yep.
And then tonight or last night, depending on your perspective, the last game, he let that dude take those 2-3. And then before anybody could get to a microphone, that dude was talking. We saw Josh Hart blunders. We saw 3 of them. One of them he apologized to the fans for. Right? Remember the Kobe White one when it was obvious? He apologized to the fans like,
I should have put myself in that position or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's your bad, bro.
Yeah, and so I don't understand. I don't understand how he did that tonight and was the first person on MSG.
What did he say tonight?
How is that not egocentric?
What did he say tonight?
To
My
me,
bad. I was asking, what did he say tonight? My bad.
Oh, he brought up the point that we got to be better. He was like, we got to figure it out. He was like, yo, we halfway through the season. We got to be better. We got to figure out this thing. We have expectations that we're not living up to. And I'm paraphrasing. We have expectations that we got to live up to, and we not achieved it. We got to be better. And then when you saw how we lost the end of the game, it was Josh Hart. And listen, I'm not knocking Josh Hart, but I did point this out to Corey Lee and IKBM Dre about 2 weeks ago on Playback TV. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. Might have been like a week and a half. Friday night, Knicks, you know what I'm saying? We was watching the game on Playback TV, right? And I think Dre had came in like the third quarter. It might have been last week. I can't remember. But I pointed out the fact that Josh Hart saw a shooter wide open, didn't go to the shooter, but got ready to rebound. Right? And he's a 6'4" wing player. Right? And when I saw that, I was like, Josh Hart is out here padding them rebound stats. Like he legit is fascinated with getting rebounds. Right? Instead of embracing the job of a 6'4" wing player. Right? Just 6'4" wing players in today's NBA have to be able to do multiple things. Right? You got to be able to do multiple things, man. Like it's, and all of them have to do it. OG has to do it. Landry Shamet off the bench has to do it. Mikal Bridges has to do it. When those guys are open on the perimeter, you can't send your lumbering 7-foot center out there so that you can grab the rebound, bro. You got to go. And that got to be instinctive. It shouldn't even be a decision. And then when you saw him rush to Tim Hardaway, how do you think 3 Knicks players in the vicinity of a dude not ready to shoot is going to help your team defense and then be like, we got an ego problem. Think about Mikal Bridges was coming off Cade, right? Jalen Brunson was responsible for Tim Hardaway Jr. And then Josh Hart rushes out to Tim Hardaway Jr.
Which one? The first one or the second one, Freezie?
The second one.
Because the first one was even more egregious. I think both of them were terrible. But the first one, Tim Hardaway Jr. put the ball on the floor with his left hand.
With his left hand, and you know he not going left.
And he's not putting up a quality shot at the rim. And he can't pass with his left. So Josh comes in and makes that passing lane clear as day.
Yep.
So he could just flip it over instead of letting a guy with a weak left hand dribble with someone on his right. That goes back to like
that goes back to when we were playing the Heat and Josh Hart said so over top to go check the person up at top while he go down there and try to box out a 7-footer.
He plays hard, not smart. And if your coach knows his style of player, sometimes you have to coach up the negative traits out of a player. That's basics. That's you have to compensate for something. Like if you know Josh Hart is this aggressive type of player, you gotta constantly be in his ear about these certain things, the smaller details.
Like Josh, the rebounding number ain't important right here in this, bro. There is no rebound if they make the shot.
But like, and then the thing that made me even more upset, he jumped out on a second chance, knowing damn well he's 6'4". He cannot block that shot anyway. So why are you jumping out to Tim Hardaway Jr. stunt and recover? If Tim Hardaway already didn't have Tim Hardaway passed up the first shot in the prior possession.
Right.
If Tim Hardaway kills you right there, you live with that. But you're gonna let the hottest shooter in the arena get an open look?
Maybe the hottest shooter in the league. Anthony Edwards has more threes, but he's not a better shooter.
It's just there is no contextual basketball IQ. And Josh Hart.
Lee, I guess what I'm saying to you, Lee, is I'm not saying, right? I'm not saying that Josh Hart. I'm not saying that Josh Hart is an egomaniac all over the place. What I'm saying is some guys fall in love with a thing and then that becomes their thing. Like for instance, we know Jalen Brunson is in love with the Coco, right? We know that. Nobody on the Knicks team loved to shoot that basketball more than Jalen Brunson. But that's okay. That's all right. We live with that, right? Karl Anthony Towns is a league leader in the league in rebounding and three-point shooting and scoring all at once from the center position, right? Josh Hart is the fifth option in a 5-out offense that occasionally gets triple doubles through hustle and heart, right? And so when you have these moments where the common sense closeout, Dre, so here's my thing. I heard what you said. Mm-hmm. What I don't get is why was Josh Hart in the vicinity of Isaiah Stewart and Karl Anthony Towns anyway?
He was in the middle of. He was in no man's land.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing by Karl Anthony Towns and Isaiah Stewart in that situation? And first of all, Isaiah Stewart has never been good enough to be offensively to be double teamed. Ever. When has Isaiah Stewart ever shown you offensively that he needs to be double teamed in a clutch moment?
Hey, Freezie, I'll show you.
Hold on, Dre. Hold on.
Okay,
hold on. Right? Isaiah Stewart has never shown you that he should be double teamed ever, especially in a clutch moment, right? So that means Josh Hart is in no man's land, in big boy land, right? And why are you in big boy land when the Pistons have 4 players on the perimeter? The Pistons have 4 players on the perimeter. And then on the open side, you see 2 players on the perimeter, one at the top of the key and one over on the wing by himself. And when you see the ball starts to swing, you go to Jalen Brunson's man. And then in the locker room, we're like, yeah, we got to do better. Who the hell is we?
That man, oh my God, Freezie, that man literally just flew away from his man to go trap Tim Hardaway Jr. And some of this, that's not all the way on Josh Hart. Tibbs, remember this. Tibbs is about prioritizing protecting the paint at all times. If you notice, every before in the prior teams with lesser talent, we had guys that jabbed into the paint and stunned it into the paint to be deterrent.
Yeah. You get taught that at a yeah.
Yeah, but at this level, when your man is a jump shooting savant, you do not do that.
Yeah.
You give up the 2, especially if it's a 1-point game. You give up the 2, not the 3.
Yeah.
And that man jumped out there to double team Tim Hardaway Jr. For what reason? I have absolutely no clue.
And see, and we don't know because here's the thing, that might be what they're being coached. That might be what they're being told.
That's what I'm saying. And
Right.
and for that, that's my issue with Tom Thibodeau, because you can't be go hung about taking away the paint and you looking at time and score.
Back in the day, we used to call that gung ho. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, gung ho. You can't be like
Lee. You heard that, bro?
I thought I said gung ho. I said something.
No, you said
all the way.
You said hung go.
Gung ho. Yeah, gung ho.
Go. Hung.
I did say. I said hung go.
Yeah.
but it's like you can't be gung ho about taking away the paint. You gotta think situationally, time and score. Like time and score is the reason why Josh Hart is fouling this man from 3 against the Bulls when we up 2.
We constantly get that too.
Why are you fouling this man behind the 3-point line when you up 2?
I gotta put this on a t-shirt, bro. Lee, that man said hung go.
Y'all started to respond to you with
Hey, Freezie, if I ever pop out with an OnlyFans, you already know what the name is.
Yeah, I already know what it's for people because I ain't going.
but to we don't play like Josh Hart. It feels like Josh Hart's mind goes blank when it comes to situational basketball. When it comes to knowing what to do at the right times, he always gets in situations where he's just doing the worst thing possible. And no point, like if you watch OKC play, when they know it's a 1 possession game, 1 point,
yep,
they'll let you get the 2 before they even let you get the 3. They'll foul you while you're going for a 2.
They'll overplay the 3, and that's what you're supposed to do in that situation. You're supposed to overplay it in our situation right there that Jay just mentioned. We're supposed to overplay the 3 so that Isaiah Stewart will be responsible for getting them the 2-point or kicking that ball back out with less time on the clock. And now we're pressuring them into a scramble to get a shot off.
Freezie, it was in any scenario, it was Jalen Brunson and Cat being in that play. In any scenario, if Tim Hardaway Jr. is dribbling with his left hand and your only safety valve is beef stew, you live with that. I don't care if it's Cat and Brunson. I don't care. You do not let them get a 3 off in that scenario. Because number one, now you cross match, you already away from the play. So even if they shoot the 3, it's gonna be a long rebound and you out of position then.
Right.
So why what are you even doing there in the first place? He was just he panicked.
So
either he panicked or he's taught to play like that.
And so I think it's both. I think it's both in that moment, right? And here is what I think they're thinking. Chat, this is what I think they're thinking, right? What they're thinking is get them to rush up a 3 to save us time on the clock. We'll get the rebound in a one possession game with the opportunity to tie or take the lead. Right? Yeah. I think that's what they're thinking. But you can't think 3 steps ahead. You have to go through the process. Right? Because now they hit the 3, they up by 5. It's no longer a one possession game. And time is run off the clock.
It's over.
Right. And so how you solve that issue, Dre, how you solve that issue, right, is for one, in that moment, you don't have Jalen Brunson on the floor if you have timeouts. Right? For one, Jalen Brunson is not you're supposed to have Deuce McBride on the floor. That's your 6'2 defender, right?
Yeah.
That's your 6'2 defender, right? So why do you have Jalen Brunson on the floor in those moments? And I'm not saying that Jalen Brunson's a bad player, but the other coach was coaching situationally. Why wasn't Tibbs coaching situationally? Right? Even if you feel like you go big in that situation, right? I don't. I feel like in that situation, they've been jacking up threes. I kind of like the defense a little bit, except for Brunson out there, right? Because I feel like defensively, you should have had your best 4 defenders out there and your best rebounder. That's how you got to do it, right? You can't ever put your best 5 defenders out there because they can't rebound unless one of the defenders is whoever, Bill Russell. I don't know. Just think of somebody, a great rebounder and a great defender at the same time, right? In that case, when you have Cat on the floor and Brunson on the floor, your 2 wing players now have to scramble and switch everything in order to keep pressure on the ball because time is working against them, right? And then so you have Josh Hart who's thinking, we got to get the rebound so that we can go down the floor and tie the game or take the lead. And we got to make sure that we can test so that we can get a stop. And that unit that Tibbs had out there was not a great defensive unit.
Nope.
It's just as simple as that. Now, does that give Josh Hart a pass or a mulligan for double teaming Tim Hardaway Jr.? Nah, come on, dog.
The first one, he double teamed him. The second one, he just jumped by him and got out of the play. So now, even if the shot was up and it's a long rebound, he can't even get the rebound.
He took himself out of the play.
I'm gonna say this. I've never seen Josh Hart play a passing lane correctly.
And Josh Hart's not built. Come on, dog.
I mean,
he's not built. He's not built to play. Come on, Dre. See, you did
it. Even then.
You put him on a rotisserie right there, bro. You grilling that man, bro.
Too well, man.
I'm saying
dude's a 6'4" rebounder. Let's think about that.
I'm saying smaller guards. A lot of smaller guards can get steals by baiting, stunting. It's playing smarter, not harder.
But
Dre, the man's not a guard.
You do understand that Josh Hart is smaller than Bradley Beal, right? Yeah, I do understand that, right? Yeah, I do understand. Josh Hart is smaller than Bradley Beal.
I think Josh Hart is just not a disciplined enough basketball player.
And Josh Hart and Jalen Green are the same size.
Oh my God, crazy!
Right? We forget about when we talk about Josh Hart. We see how much effort and energy he puts out every night. Man, that man plays so hard. We forget. Man, we forget that dude is actually smaller than Quentin Grimes.
You got to tell Tibbs that then.
That man play his heart out every night, though. That man play his heart out every single night. But that man is smaller than RJ Barrett.
Well, the rebounding aspect, the 2 best teams in the league are not even top 15 in rebounds. Like every in Tibbs' mind, rebounding solves everything. every combination don't gotta include Josh Hart. Tibbs thinks he can't win basketball games without Josh Hart. Legit. Like he's closed out more games with Randall on the bench than Josh Hart on the bench.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah. Because that man's a ball of energy. Energy guy. Josh Hart is an energy guy. Man, that man play his heart out every single night. Now, when I say Josh Hart is a complex Knicks player to speak about, because does he frustrate you offensively at times? Yes. Right? Right. Does he frustrate you with jumping in the air and then finding somebody to pass the ball to? Yes. Will he throw like the two passes, the two turnover? I think he had how many? He had two turnovers tonight, right? I don't care about the turnover number, right? Or so he's credited with one turnover, right? But the turnover or turnovers tonight don't bother me. I don't care about the number, right? I care about live ball turnovers and bad passes. The one in transition where you're trying to throw a bounce skip pass through long, athletic, agile defenders on a break. Come on, Josh, just dribble the ball or give it up. Right?
Lack of discipline and not understanding who you are on the court.
Yeah. And I know, Lee, there are a lot of things. There are a lot of things to say about tonight's game, bro. Like, we won the rebounding battle. We had 3 dudes score 26 points. We shot 50% from the field, 40% from 3, and we still lost.
I trade 3-4 of them rebounds for good closeouts. I'll tell you that much. I trade 3 or 4 of them.
Trey, can you please get Josh Hart off your George Foreman grill, bro?
For real, man.
Because you clearly you see rebounding doesn't solve everything. Turnovers. We got what, 17 turnovers?
Yeah.
That was the reason right there.
Yeah, the rebounds don't mean nothing when you lack execution on the other end, on the other offensive end.
We executed shooting wise, but we also got a bunch of turnovers because a guy on that other team, coaching staff, decided to throw out multiple styles of defenses tonight, if you noticed. And we were playing basically the same coverage from opening tip the entire time. And we expected Cade Cunningham not to figure it out.
And DN says Detroit is a good team, and I agree. I think the Detroit Pistons beat us tonight. I don't think we gave Detroit that win, right? I don't think that win had a ribbon on it addressed to the Detroit Pistons. I think the Pistons took that win from us, right? At the same time, no, Lee, tonight I saw some things that kind of churned my spirit, bro. I saw some things tonight, right, that kind of made my spirit just. Lee, how does Jalen Brunson come in as a game time decision, right? He legit didn't know he was playing until game time, right? And you played that man 39 minutes.
I don't know what to tell you, bro. That's, I feel you where you're going with this. And I'm going to say this. I don't want to do this, but then again, if this is the case where you don't trust the rookies that you draft, then how come you don't have the personnel in there for whom he can trust in these situations? That's all I'm going to say.
I agree.
Well, if you making, but at that point, you getting paid $10 million. You better figure it out.
And Lee, but my I agree with what Lee is saying, but Lee, here's the thing that has me confused. If you can't trust nobody, is that a coach versus front office issue, or a coach versus player issue?
It's coach versus player issue, unless he feels like this young man is seasoned. And I'm gonna agree with something Dre said, and even you said it, Freezy. Sometimes I think Tibbs maybe allows himself to deal with a look at resume versus potential or possibility. You know what I'm saying? But also too, but if you're watching, because this man coaches these people, he's coming to practice every day.
They don't
If there's
practice every
something,
day.
you know what I mean.
I mean,
Come
They're
they
on,
do
Dre.
together every day is what he
they do
means.
walkthroughs and watch tape.
But
Still,
but Dre, you know what he's saying. He's saying they together
Yeah,
every day.
I get what you're saying.
the opportunity to learn,
Right.
also too, not only just learn, but to be able to, what's the word I could say? Be able to perform what you learned at a high level
Okay.
are two different things. Now, I understand practice. I mean, getting in the games and it helps you out and all stuff like that. But sometimes when you sitting there with that professor, even though you may have thought you wrote an A paper and turn around, he gave you a C, and you like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. What
It's
kind of
all about
weekend you had,
perspective.
bro? Yeah. What kind of weekend you had, bro?
A long one, bro.
Yeah, that's what I said. Professor, you gave me a C on an A paper. I bought this paper, bro. I ain't even write it. I bought it. You know what I'm saying? I bought this paper from the dude that get A's all the time, and you gonna tell me, nah, bro. But Lee,
Nah, man.
you know what though? I got two more things, man. I just wanted to mention, right? The Landry Shamet experiment to me has to be over. Has to be right now. It just got to be over.
Goodbye, baby.
It's got to be over, bro. You got to give those minutes to Pacom Dadier right now. Right? Because every night I watch Landry Shamet, the more I realize that Landry Shamet does nothing better than what we think Pacom Dadier could be doing right now. You got to play these young dudes. Right? You got to be playing these young dudes, bro. Because if you're telling me and Dre in January that come June, Landry Shamet is going to be important, and the way he looks right now, bro, I'm gonna turn my TV off, bro. I'll holler at y'all next year. There's no way you can tell me that the development of any of those young players is not as important as those throwaway minutes you giving to Landry Shamet. Plus,
Yep.
plus Cameron Payne, and I don't know if y'all noticed this or not, but I noticed Cameron Payne plays better without Landry Shamet on the floor. And I know the nerds in the chat are going to be like, yo, but the Bucks plus minus say, I don't care, bro. I'm just going by the eye test. I'm just going by the eye test, bro. Right? The Landry Shamet thing is ridiculously bad. Bro, Tibbs has got to sit that man down and give a bigger, more athletic player those minutes and let him learn. There's nothing Landry Shamet does that impresses us to the point where we're like, nah, man, we got to keep him in the rotation. Nothing.
There's no long-term benefit for it either.
He's a placeholder. Right? Now, and here's the other thing. Here's the one more thing, Lee, and I'm gonna get out of the way, right? In the first quarter, Karl-Anthony Towns basically went to the rim and broke his hand, right? Basically. We don't know if it's broken. It seemed like it's broken. Cat was shaking that hand all game. Usually, if it's just a ding, right? If you just hit it, they'll spray. You know that Lee, you know that cold spray they spray on you?
Icy hot, like
yeah, they spray and it like freeze it and then it'll warm it up or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Like when you hurt yourself, like if you bump knees, they'll spray that stuff. It'd be like ice cold.
Yeah, or bruised eye, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. They like how running backs get hit on the hip or whatever. But Lee, you remember when we used to wear thigh pads? Remember when thigh pads was a thing?
Oh my God. Well, thank you, Jesus, for those.
You remember when you used to get hit on your hip or whatever, and they'll spray that stuff? Yo, no matter what they did for Cat hand, Cat couldn't get right. You saw him; he shot 2 threes tonight, and it looked like, for lack of a better person, it looked like Jumpman from 3 when he shot those threes. Right? it looked legit like Jericho Sims was shooting those threes, right? And so when you saw it, he was like, yo, Cat kind of hurt for real, man. You know, do you know that Cat Tibbs sent that man back in the game? Do you know Carl Anthony Towns wound up playing 43 minutes tonight on a second half of a back-to-back with a broke hand?
They asked him after the game. They said, did he have to take X-rays or something? He said, it is what it is. And then they asked him, is this something that might keep you out? He said, it is what it is. So he doesn't he went out there and played, and then he made a couple shots with that hand. Like he missed. Like it was touch and go. Like either he would swish or he'd miss terribly.
Yeah. And you know when he hurt that hand, bro, you seen him walk away from rebounds and let Josh Hart get him, bro.
Yeah, he was grimacing.
Yeah, when I saw him move away from rebounds, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I was telling Lee, I was telling Todd Bobby earlier that Tom Thibodeau in his spare time plucks the wings off butterflies. He a torturer, bro. He don't care.
That's mean. That's mean as hell, man.
He don't care, bro. We gotta get Tibbs one of those Silence of the Lambs muzzles on his mouth, bro.
See, could you calling that man a psychopath?
Tibbs. How that man break his hand and you like, yo, go get checked.
I think he like jammed his thumb on a replay. It looked like he jammed his thumb, and then they wrapped it up to protect it from like moving.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I don't want to say he broke his hand, but I think he jammed his thumb up.
It's something, bro.
It's on the shooting hand, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Lord have mercy.
He like splashed, like switched a few shots, and then he worked a few shots. So,
bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Otherwise his hand is not broke.
Yeah, if this legit, if this was the Trailblazers at Night podcast, we would legit be talking about how our guy was hurt and he should have left the game. If this was the Suns at Night podcast, right, with a reasonable coach, we'd have been like, yo, man, he probably should have took that man out, man, with that sprained thumb or whatever. But since it's the Knicks at Night podcast and we used to Tibbs like playing dudes that are injured, we like, man, it's only a sprained thumb.
Mitch.
Bro, we out
Mitch
here
came back with a broken foot or broken ankle.
Lee, we out here like, yo, it's only a sprained thumb. Bro, you ever had a sprained thumb before? What the fuck?
Oh my! Oh, speaking of, I
had a couple of fingers caught up with some face masks back in the day.
Bro,
sound rough.
Lee,
I just started wearing gloves.
Bro, yo, I ain't even gonna front. I've been injured a million times. My body legit looks like a pincushion, like with all stitches and scars and stuff. Bro, I had my eye socket broke twice. The same eye socket too, right? And so I know how it is to be hurt, bro. You know what I'm saying? But this man sprained his thumb hitting it on a glass backboard at full speed, right? This man hit his thumb on a backboard full speed. And Tibbs played that man 43 minutes.
And Tibbs' logic is medical cleared him, so I could play him. Medical said he was good.
Tibbs ain't even look. And with Jericho Sims out due to injury, right? So with Jericho Sims out due to injury, Tom Thibodeau didn't even look at Ariel Hug Party.
I can't, Freezie. Every time Precious plays, a part of my soul dies. I swear to God, Precious got worse.
Right.
He legitimately got worse.
Precious has been bad, bro.
You've been bad all year.
Precious Achiuwa has been, and you know that's my man. Y'all know I love Precious, bro. I talked to y'all all summer about Precious. Lee, did I talk to y'all all? I talked to y'all all summer about Precious, right?
Yeah, because he had us sitting there waiting, like, huh? Yeah, what we gonna do? at the end of the year.
Cat trade, right? Before the cat trade,
Yep.
before we was getting cat, I was talking to y'all all summer about Precious and Walker Kessler. All summer, bro. Right? And so you look at him like
I thought Cat could hide the flaws in Precious' offensive game. He actually can. Like when he got that putback, like he got that rebound, he tried to put it back from 10 feet away. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Can I say something though? But you would think the same thing for Precious. On the other hand, for Cat too, to some degree.
Okay.
I mean, it just. I mean, sometimes we have a major chemical imbalance. We need to find. We went away from what we were into the supposed offensive juggernaut, which looks great on paper.
Well, we got a
But
better record than we do last year.
okay, and where would I get us in game 2 of the first round?
Well, you don't.
Doesn't matter.
Well,
It doesn't matter.
if you ask this in January,
Wait, I don't understand the point. What's
if
the
you
point?
ask this at the beginning,
It's irrelevant.
No, Corey,
What are
let me
you talking
finish.
about? What are you
Hold
talking
on,
about?
Corey. Hold on, let me finish. He's like Corey. If you asked me in the middle of January or early January last year that you go to Game 7 of the second round after Julius Randle got hurt, you wouldn't have believed that either. So I'm not throwing any indictments on this team yet. They got to show me that they that bad. You don't win championships in January. You build habits, but ain't nothing finalized at this point.
Oh, we break bad habits too, as well. And then also too, we wait for key players to come back and help us. That can do some of the things. That can do some of the things that our starters can't. You know what I'm saying? Or like you say, we move within the margins and we move out talent that can't help what we're currently trying to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand what y'all talking about.
Yeah, I don't even know either. But I like what Corey was saying.
No, Lee, I'm saying because when Lee was saying something, that you said something, I didn't hear what Lee was saying, and then Lee finished what he was saying.
I was trying to say, you know,
basically,
we need, in a nutshell, we pretty much need to find a way and find some soul searching to get rid of some of these bad habits. If we plan on getting out the first round this year, you know, I'm gonna say this right now. Like I said to y'all earlier this month, this is gonna be a rough ass month. We're coasting. We are coasting as players. Our team is coasting. That's why it seems like it's on a dead ear. They're coasting because they know that they have to go extra harder after the All-Star break in order to achieve even a snippet of what the goal is. In order for some people to either want to get paid, two not get traded, three be here next year, even for the remaining of the goal. Then you just said it right earlier. You know, it might take 3 or 4 changes, but these cats are trying to get it done in the first shot, first time go.
They're going to absolutely compete at the highest level. But like, even if we did win a championship this year, Corey, the team that comes after that is going to smoke whatever team we put out this year. Like, I think if we win a championship this year, I pray to God we do. But even if we do, I think whatever team we have after this is going to smoke. It's going to be even better.
Yeah, I'm not here for it, bro. I feel you. I respect the point.
I mean, the point is to get better every year.
I mean, and I understand the point. We understand the point. That's a basic premise.
Yeah.
Right.
But the main point is to execute the plan this year with the talent and the money we had invested in.
That's not the premise. The premise is that teams that put together quality talent may or may not be successful when they first get together, but the longer they're together, the better they'll be. That's the premise. Right? So this team built like this may not be it this year. Next year, they'll be better. and in 2 years they'll be even better exponentially than they are right now. But what I'm saying to it is my Knicks fandom is double parked, right? I don't have 2 or 3 years to wait for this thing to cook, right?
Don't worry about it, because I'm parked right next to you, so we triple park.
Right. So we triple park, bro. We got the whole street blocked up, bro. That's what I'm saying, because it makes sense. What Dre is saying makes sense based on what we've seen other championship contenders do. Right? It makes sense. And if you look at what other championship contenders do, right? You know, they put this thing together, they have a good team, they may not win, they might have a heartbreaking loss. The next year they might be in the Western Conference Finals. Injury prevents them from winning the championship. They go to the chip the next year and win it. Right? The Denver Nuggets did it a different way. Of course, they came from
about 7 years
outside of the pack and then did it. Right?
Well, they were competing at a high level. Remember, they were in the bubble in the Western Conference Finals. Like they were competing at a high level. Then injuries, showing their trajectory. But at the same point, like
They had a major injury in between all of that too. Now, Dre. So
like, of course. But Jokic was on that team with Murray for like 7 years together, and they made the trade for that power forward that they have, Aaron Gordon, and he was on that team for 2.5 years.
Judge. They traded for Aaron Judge. Yeah.
He was on that team for 2.5 years before they won it.
Yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. was been on that team 5-6 years. So, like, yeah, I get that, and all those guys.
Hold on a second, but Michael Porter Jr. Dre, Michael Porter Jr. wasn't the Michael Porter Jr.
He wasn't who he was supposed to be. His back.
Exactly. That's my point. They had to develop him into that particular role, so he could be the best. They get the most out of him for what his talent offered.
He missed 18, 19. Right?
Yeah, because if Michael Porter Jr. was supposed to be who he was, he wouldn't have even been on the Nuggets. He would have went number 1.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be light skinned KD. That's what he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have even fell to 9. They took the risk on
he
him.
probably would have been the number 1 pick over DeAndre Ayton.
Yep.
If he didn't have the back injuries.
Destroying dudes in high school.
Yeah. Yeah. But the point that I'm getting at, though, Troy, is not the Denver Nuggets and them. The point that I'm getting at, and for a lot of Knicks fans, is we've been sold this dream forever. The stair-step dream. Like, we've been sold the night we picked Lee, and no lie, hand to the man, bro. The night we drafted RJ Barrett, I was on nothing but Knicks, right? And people were celebrating. Oh, man, we got a top 3 pick, man. We're going to turn this thing around. Man, we got to give RJ Barrett the keys, and we're going to do step by step by step by step. But halfway through that, bro, we like,
he ain't Dwayne Wade.
Right. This dude ain't SGA. Right. He ain't SGA, right? We like, nah, this dude ain't gonna be. And we love RJ, bro. Still love RJ to this day. To this day, right?
The front office realized that too.
But the thing is when we tell Knicks fans, hey, wait till next year. Wait till next year. Like every year around this time, we're gonna be like, wait till next year. At some point, fans gonna.
I've been doing it for 50 years.
Yeah, at some point, the Knicks fans gonna be like, this dude don't know what he's talking about. Every year, it be wait till next year. Every year.
Freezie, I got a question. If we just talking straight raw talent, what's the last time you seen the Knicks team have this much actual talent?
I don't remember a Knicks team ever. And mind you, when I say this, I'm not saying it never happened. I'm saying I don't remember, right? Because when they won a championship in 70, I was like a toddler. When they won the championship in 73, you know what I'm saying? I had a book bag and a lunchbox, right? You know what I'm saying? And so when it comes,
meanwhile, I'm being held in my arms with my dad.
Right. Yeah. So when it comes to how much talent a team has, you know what I'm saying? I can't speak with any certainty. Now, but what I can say though, in today's today's model of an NBA champion, you have to have at least 2 hardcore to the core franchise players, right? And you just can't put them together. They got to be together. They got to go through stuff, right? They got to have the upset loss. They got to be benched. They got to get blown out on ABC. They got to go through all these ups and downs in order to figure out who they are, right? They got to take them embarrassing L's, right? Like the Celtics.
LeBron and Wade.
Like the Heat when they lost to the Mavericks, right? Right.
So
like
we
the
trying to
Nuggets.
skip steps?
Yeah, right. But and I understand that. I understand in today's NBA, that's the way. What I'm saying though, as a fan, is I don't have time to wait on that shit, bro. You gotta do that shit now.
My man looking at his mortality.
Right. Yeah. As a fan, and chat. When I say that, and I'm sorry for the swear words, y'all, but Lee came in for our neck, kind of had me. I'm like, yo, this is our friend right here coming in.
Yeah,
You know, I love you. I love y'all, man. I love y'all. Come on, bro. Don't do me like that.
Corey had us on our heels real quick.
Yeah, this dude coming in like, flipping tables, throwing chairs. But anyway,
I get it though. I was pissed.
Yeah,
I was pissed watching the game.
Yeah, the point that I'm getting at though, Dre, is this: if you're a Knicks fan, you can't tell a Knicks fan, a passionate Knicks fan, that we have to wait, even though we know that's the current NBA model. And the reason why you can't tell a Knicks fan that they have to wait is because we've already been waiting, and we hear this thing all the time. Right? We was hearing it
94, 99,
83, 84. You can't win without a big man. We get a big man, right? Then you get the big man, and you're like, yo, you gotta wait. He just a rookie. He young, bro. And then when he get into a certain thing, you're like, now you got to put talent around him, right? And then you put talent, and before you know it, that big man you drafted in 85 is
retiring.
He's 62 years old, and you still ain't won a chip. Right?
You said put talent around him.
Even with this iteration of this Knicks team, right? Because some of the people in the chat wasn't around for the 90s. They heard about the 90s Knicks, right? The 90s Knicks, for those that were adults and saw it, understand that the 90s Knicks were not the 90s Knicks. It was Pat Ewing and some dudes. Right, Patrick Ewing is a franchise all-time legendary type player.
They done more for Jalen than they did for Pat.
Right,
to be honest with you, Freezie.
Bro. That's what I'm saying to you. The '90s Knicks was not, Pat Ewing was a great little story. No, Pat Ewing is
number one overall first round pick.
Yeah, and Pat Ewing is a top 20 athlete in New York sports history.
Freezie,
right? You can't talk about New York sports you cannot talk about the history of New York sports without saying Patrick Ewing name.
Freezie.
And if you do, you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, second, Dre. Can I say something? Can I say something real quick, Dre?
Real quick, Corey. I was gonna say, like the Knicks did Patrick so bad they made the number one overall pick look like an underdog story.
Right.
That's how badly they did him. Go ahead, Corey.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say this. You got to think the era which he was drafted in is the same era that was Barkley was drafted in, the same era that Karl Malone was drafted in. And I'm not putting this on one person. John Stockton. Yeah, I'm saying I'm not putting this on an individual player. It's a way that franchises have been fortunate to finagle and gather as much talent around that player because they saw the forethought. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, it was a lot of it was a mismanagement of management. You know, and to say that now, looking at what we have is like a surplus. it's like, I don't know. I don't know. No, to be honest with you, I really don't know where to point the finger because I'm looking at the front office, I'm looking at the coach, I'm looking at the team, and I'm looking and I'm about to say, you know, screw all you MFs because y'all can't come together for a common goal. And to think about this before we rush to judgment and do these knee jerk reaction type of moves. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, but and Lee, but the point that I was making though is I'm not blaming Pat Ewing career. Pat Ewing had a great career. He didn't win a chip. So what? He was still great, right? What I'm saying is that the narrative in every generation is something, right? There's always something there's always a common thought that makes sense in real time that is not true, but we won't know that it's not true until that time has passed. Like you don't know that, like it sounds like fact in the moment, but when the moment passes and you reflect on it, you look like, yo, what were we thinking? Right? It happens to all of us. As you get older, you look back, like when you turn 50, you look back at your 30s and you're like, man, what was I
That's
thinking?
why they say hindsight is 2020.
That's why hindsight is 2020, right? Like when you in your 50s and you look back at your 30s, you're like, man, I was throwing away all that money. I should have bought a house in my 30s and instead of waiting until I
You
got
look
to
back at your
my
20s.
house. Yeah. That's what I'm just saying. And Dre, I'm just saying the hindsight thing, right? I'm not disparaging the point. I'm just giving you my perspective on it. Right. I'm just giving you my perspective on, even though I'm using strong words to describe my feeling on it. Right. The thing is with because and Dre, you know what? And to be honest with you, I'm gonna use this and it's gonna make y'all laugh, right? The Mets had a shortstop named Ahmed Rosario, right? They had a second baseman named Andres Jimenez. They had a third baseman named Luis Guillorme. They had a utility guy that played short named Wilmer Flores, right? They just completed a trade with Toronto and acquired a catcher named Travis d'Arnaud and a young fireballer named Noah Syndergaard from Toronto. They traded R.A. Dickey to the Toronto Blue Jays for Travis d'Arnaud and Noah Syndergaard, right? And then people are like, yo, yeah, everybody like, yo, hurry up with the story, man. Hurry up. So what I'm saying is when the Mets were in that moment, right, they also had a prospect, a shortstop out of Stetson that pitched, right, named Jacob deGrom, right? They had a fireballer out of North Carolina named Matt Harvey. They drafted a dude, right, named Steven Matz, right? And then the year before that, they traded my beloved center fielder, Carlos Beltran, to the Giants for Dre. What's the pitcher he pitched for Zach Wheeler?
Yeah.
Right? For Zach Wheeler, right? We had a dude that replaced K-Rod. You remember K-Rod?
Yep.
Remember we had
He was a dominant closer. I think he had the record for like most close saves in the season.
Yeah, but we traded him away and got another reliever. I forgot what his name is, right? But we had all these young pieces in place, right? And the conventional thinking is if this team can just hold it in the road long enough for these young guys to just develop, we can be, and I say we as a Mets fan, we could be the best team in the National League for the next 15 years, right? And so people were telling us, yo, don't trade that first baseman, Dominic Smith. Man, he's silky smooth with the bat. He don't have no power, but he can hit, right? All these dudes, right? And the thinking was at that time was with all this talent, all you have to do is just hold on and let it all come together. And what happened was the Mets made a run. They started trading away guys. They started adding because the Mets caught lightning in a bottle, right? They traded for, I think it was right before the trade deadline, and I think it was 2015. They traded for a guy named Cespedes, right? We made a trade with the Braves before that because the Braves were out of it and they needed to dump salary. And we got a utility, Kelly Johnson, and a dude that plays second. Anyway, what happened was in that moment, the conventional thinking was just wait, just play this thing out, play the long game with this. Don't rush it. Don't rush and mess it up like you did with Andy Chavez, Kaz Matsui, Jose Reyes, and David Wright, right? Don't rush and mess it up. Just let it play out, right? That was the conventional thinking, right? What we should have done in theory is absolutely strike when the iron is hot, right? Because you don't know how long these windows are going to stay open, right? Because the Mets wound up making the World Series, made a run. They lost to the Royals 4-1, right? But since then, the Mets have been stumbling, bumbling, trying to figure it out and getting in their own way. The Knicks, though, have a bunch of talent in a starting five, right? And instead of us, and this is just me suggesting this thing, instead of us saying, man, we're the picture of health, we have a championship level coach, our bench is fantastic, our starting five has 2 all-star starters in it. In my mind, I'm telling you, Knicks fan, now is the time that you put the pressure on the front office to strike while the iron is hot, because you don't know how long your window is going to be open, because all it takes is for one player to get injured and that starting five is no longer the starting five that you thought it was. And then now you're patching it up with a bench that couldn't even perform when they were bench players. And now you're taking the bench that underperformed and taking one of those guys off the underperforming bench and making them a starter, which weakens your starting five and also weakens your bench that was already weak. Right? So instead of looking at the window like, yeah, man, this window's going to be open for the next 4 years, man, these guys are under contract and such, I'm saying don't be the Tony Allen Memphis Grizzlies thinking this thing is going to last forever, right? Don't be the Doug Christie Sacramento Kings, right? Don't be the Steve Nash Phoenix Suns. This thing is going to last. Man, don't be the Joe Johnson Atlanta Hawks, right?
Don't be the Phoenix Suns with Charles Barkley.
Right. Don't be that. You got to live in the moment, right?
Is there Michael Jordans out here stopping us? Ain't no Michael Jordans out here. I don't see one yet.
Okay.
But we stopping ourselves, bro. Was there
a Michael Jordan in the league last year when you didn't win the championship?
That roster wasn't good enough to win one anyway.
Right. I know.
That's your opinion. Speak for yourself.
Young people think they have all the time in the world. You don't have all the time in the world. Time doesn't belong to any person. Time is its own thing. And time is not going to do what you tell it to do. Right? Time is a measure of moments. Just because it seems like we have time doesn't mean we have time.
Well, I'll say this, Freezie. You need to take airy grievances out with CJ McCollum, because doing an all-in move in the middle of the season is damn near impossible with this CBA. So, like, trying to acquire a $20 million player right now is damn near impossible.
Nah, you know who you got to take that up with?
The leader of the league, Adam Silver, because he pushed that because he wants more. What's the word I'm trying to think of?
Parity,
more
but I don't.
Parity, exactly.
It wasn't that. It was. Well, CJ had.
Yes, it was, because the NBA ain't fun if only one team is winning every 5 of the next 10 years.
But I'm telling you, the leader of the CBA saw the superstar team and the Warriors destroy him, and he had to do something about it.
No, Dre,
don't go there.
I get that, but that's not what I'm talking about, right? Lee.
I'm saying you're saying pushing chips to the table. I understand that. You understand that point. Don't just sit idle and expect things to work out because
Dre,
cores fail all the time.
You taking me off the rails. You telling me that you taking me off the rails because you telling me that $178 million is not enough to build a championship team. That's what you're saying.
No, I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I'm saying in order to pivot around.
That's what y'all heard, right? Y'all heard him say salary cap, right?
I didn't say salary cap. I said
Lee,
it is hard.
You didn't hear salary cap? You didn't hear him talk about somebody in the
CJ McCollum.
The salary cap doesn't stop you from making the deals. The aprons is what stops you, not the salary. The salary is irrelevant.
I'm sorry. I said salary cap. I should have said the aprons. I'm sorry. It's the new nerd lingo be throwing me off, bro.
It's not the money.
Basically, what I'm getting at is if we say that $178 million is not enough to build a championship contender, I need to put my own team in the league.
Well, Freezie, the Suns are paying like 300-something million, and they are not a championship contender team right now.
Right.
The Wolves are paying how much in tax, and they are not. So you can't.
You're talking about including the tax. They're not paying 300 million in salary. They're paying.
Well, they're well above the second apron. They're well above the second apron.
But also too, you look at those teams. They're top heavy. They did not distribute the money right. They didn't balance it. Yeah, that's his point.
Yeah, they don't get 300 million and everybody
else.
But
the money is the money, ain't it?
No,
the money is. They're at 200 million.
You know, if the money was the money, then we wouldn't have the aprons.
I'm saying they're at $200 million.
It don't matter. Even if the cap was 300 million, everybody's not going to win the championship. Even if the cap is $300 million, everybody is not going to win a chip. The thing is about how you manage it, regardless what the number is. That's my point. The point that I'm getting at is you can't blame that guy for saying, hey, the new number is $181 million. And then you spend $182 million and be mad at the guy that said it's 181. That's not his fault. That's all. That's the thing. The thing I'm saying is you have to. I'm not, like I told Dre before, everybody. I'm not gonna say the front office is sometimes smart and sometimes not. If you say they're smart, they're always smart, right? We can't just say that they're smart sometimes and not smart other times because they fit our conversation. That's the point that I'm getting at. I believe the Knicks front office is brilliant, right? But I believe they're brilliant all the time. Now, do they get put in situations that may not be conducive to them doing the move that they want? No, they put themselves in that situation where they can't do the move that they want to do. The Houston Rockets didn't make the Knicks spend all that money, right?
They took the Knicks wrong the direction, and they're just
OKC didn't make us spend all that money, but still a whole lot of draft capital.
Well, I mean, they spent all their money on Hartenstein, which we wanted back. So, they kind of did make us spend this money on getting cat.
They got a failed save. They got draft capital, bro.
That's fine. Well, they picked the direction. They did all but 90% of what you were asking for. You asking for the last 10%, and I'm telling you that the last 10% takes 90% of the time.
Unfortunately. I agree with you, bro. I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that part. What I'm saying is this: the icing is a part of the cake. That's what I'm saying. The icing is a part of the cake, bro. You can't just put a dry ass. You can't just bring a dry ass cake to somebody wedding with no icing on it, bro. No people on the top.
Hey man,
right?
So most def hold that yellow cake. It's a dangerous weapon.
Yeah, hey man. That yellow cake be busting too with milk. I ain't go front. Right?
Yo, I don't even drink milk no more, but every once in a while I drink that non-lactose milk just so I can eat some cake.
That lactate.
That's what I mean is the Knicks are in a situation where we know, even though you have quality veterans on the bench performance has been whack.
Yeah.
Right. So we know Shamit's a quality vet, Payne's a quality vet, Precious is a quality vet, right? All them dudes is quality veterans, but their performance altogether has been whack, right? That we felt like coming out of summer league that the rookies we got, we were excited about them. We hadn't seen them,
Tom Thibodeau.
right? And so going think not and so here's the thing too, the rock in my the ultimate rock in my shoe.
I got a question for you after this.
Mitchell Robinson, right? We were told at the end of the season that Mitchell Robinson would be ready for training camp.
Mm-hmm. We saw that man in the pool.
Right? All this stuff, bro. And here we are. The King holiday is next week. And I told my friend to his face that Mitchell Robinson wasn't going to be back to the King holiday. And he got mad at me, right? Man, you be putting that thing on Mitch, man. He'll be back. My man even said the butcher soon come.
That's me.
Right? He said the butcher soon come, right? And here it is, January 14th, and there is no date in sight, right? It's a rock in my shoe. Am I blaming Mitchell Robinson? No. Am I blaming the organization? No. I understand it's a circumstance. I ain't blaming nobody. What I'm saying is this creates a bunch of frustration for me, right? Not just because I think he's going to come save the season. I don't think he's that level of player. Mitchell Robinson ain't coming back saving the season, but he is a valued contributor. And based on what we see from the bench on a nightly basis, we don't have a valued contributor coming off the bench. We just don't. You don't know. It's a bag of M&Ms. You don't know which color you're gonna get out the bag.
We thought we had something in Deuce. He's just
Hold on a second, Dre, before you go on. I
didn't have nothing else.
I'm just saying before you go take off again. I'm gonna ask a question to both of you gentlemen.
I'm so fed up with Deuce Lee. I can flick Deuce into the sun right now.
Oh well, yo, you holler at his grandfather. Where's
his grandfather go down the cross farm?
Not no more.
Baby.
He done turned the ran on him on the low. But I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna say this. Do you think, perspective wise, and I want your individual opinions.
You said let me say this, and then you asked us a question.
Yeah, I'm about to ask you. I'm gonna say the question. Give me a second, because I'm trying to preface this and say this right. Who is the pressure more on now, right now? Because this is why the front office or Tibbs. And I say this because I honestly think after we made the trade, you know what I'm saying, that we were too hasty in throwing players in there to fill the gap without not really having a plan to either one, replace them, or to find a way to upgrade it during towards the end of the season. And also too, now going back towards Tibbs, it wouldn't have mattered regardless at this point.
I think
Dre, he totally lost me, bro. Go ahead, Dre. I don't know.
I think he's saying who's the pressure on to perform. Like if the team performance doesn't reach expectations, and in any scenario, it's always the coach that goes first. If a team gets put together that has all the talent or the pieces, the coach always goes. You can look at the Cavs last year. They ain't fired a GM.
Look at the Pistons last year.
Right. They ain't fired a GM that put together the team. They ain't clean house in the front office. You can look across the league or any sport. If the team gets put together and they do not perform, the coach is the first person that goes. It don't matter how close the coach is to the front office. No matter how long tenure been. If they underperform to a certain extent, they're gonna go. What extent that is, I'm not sure. Like in my mind, if he gets outed in the first round, he's gone. If we get outed
I
in the first
agree.
round,
I agree. If the Knicks lose in the first round of the playoffs this year, I think there's a lot of people going to be gone. I think Mitch will be gone. I think Deuce will be gone. I think they'll retool this whole thing. I think that if the Knicks lose in the first round, I think they would consider trading Josh Hart, bro.
yeah, I think, and you have to go to extreme moves like that when all this capital and all this stuff got put in motion to make the team what it is right now, and you're not seeing the fruits of it, especially in the front office,
Right.
because as badly as we want to win a championship, I think the front office definitely wants to win a championship. I think
Right.
there's nothing more that Tom Thibodeau wants is a championship. I just don't know if he knows how to do that.
No, he don't know how to win it.
Hey, can I say something real quick too? Again, I want to say, did y'all ever see Any Given Sunday? And if you did, do you
Yeah.
remember in the locker room when Jim Brown went on that tirade and what he said to his players?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, then
I remember when
I'm digress on that.
with Al Pacino said. Remember what Al Pacino said? How bad do you want this? Do you want this inch by inch? Remember that at the end of the movie?
Mm-hmm.
And who does that go back to?
The coach.
No, the players.
No. I thought you was asking who said it. Okay. Yeah. The players.
But you think the players out there don't want it? They absolutely do want it. It just do they know how to get there?
I
And
think
that's
they. I think it's no. I still think we have a trust issue. I'm not. I'm gonna go off my ego thing. I'm gonna digress off of that. I think it's about trust and feeling comfortable, and also to try to create your own space for yourself because of a lot of things going on outside of basketball to some degree. To some degree, you know, I think sometimes I think our team needs to probably get punched in the mouth and take a fall back and learn some humility and understand concentrate on what they really get paid for outside of the things that contribute to who they are.
Lee, let me do this. I'm gonna disagree with you, not because I want to be disagreeable, right? Because I don't. Man, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to be disagreeable, right? But I think that what you're saying is adding fuel to a narrative that never existed. When Josh Hart was talking about egos and stuff like that, that had nothing. I don't believe it had anything to do with.
Freezie, I said digress off of the ego part.
Okay, all right, okay. So my bad then. My bad.
Yeah,
But
no, what I'm saying is that like these people, that it's not necessarily. I'm not gonna go egos.
but Lee, that's not the point that I was getting at. What I was gonna say to you is or say aloud is this team had a dude that won the Eastern Conference Play of the Month for December without scoring 30 points a game in a league that loves scorers, right? This team has had more 30 assist games, 41 games through a season than whatever number you can throw out, right? They share the basketball and they enjoy playing with each other. My thing is, and in my opinion, when you trust what your eyes are telling you, right? I don't think it's an ego thing. Or let me restate. I don't think it's a cockiness thing. Because I do think there is an overwhelming confidence that you have to have in order to be a professional athlete, right? But I don't think that and I'm basing this on something. I'm not just saying that I thought about it lightly and this is my opinion. What I'm saying is I think about this stuff deeply, right? Right? I think about these topics before we get here. I write this stuff down. I ask people for their opinions. Lee, I have called you. I have called you on your phone.
Bro, you ain't gotta go there. I already know.
I
Because
called you on your
I do
phone
the same thing with you.
and hung up. Like, Lee,
We bounce ideas off each other.
yeah, I'll ask. I have called Fritz Alcindor and been like, "Hey, Fritz, what you think about this?" He'd be like, "Yo, this is what I think." All right, then, and get off the phone, right? And so the reason why I say that is this team has done more stuff to show you that they're unselfish than any team that you've seen in recent Knicks history. Right? There's no power forward out there holding the ball, looking for the perfect pass to pad his stats. Right? There is no journeyman 6'4" shooting guard out there taking every 3-point shot known to man. Right? To break a Knicks 3-point record. There is no guy like that. Right? There is no 6'6" small forward that thinks he's 6'9", dribbling to the paint, getting a running start from New Rochelle, calling for a screen, and by the time he get to the dotted line, the whole defense is reset. Right? There is no combo guard off the bench that thinks he's Steph Curry-esque, skipping up and down the floor, even though he's 2 for 19 from the field. You don't see none of that, bro. You don't see a 6'4" guard that's a starter that got benched and whined and complained until he got traded. Right? You don't see a 6'8" wingman that thought he should have been the next Paul George and mad because he's not playing because he don't play defense, and now he got his hoodie up over his face in every Knicks appearance. You don't see that, bro. What you see is Karl Anthony Towns wearing an OG Anunoby armband. Right? What you see is two starters, your starting wing and your starting point guard, doing a podcast together. Right? What you see is your starting center throwing behind the back passes without looking to a cutting wing because he trusts that he'll be there. Right? You see a dude that makes about $40 million per year on average accept the role as the fourth scoring option on his team. Accepted it, bro. The dude made $200 million in his contract, and he is fine being the fourth option. And so when I hear like Josh Hart say, "Man, we gotta check these egos and stuff," I think that's bullshit, bro.
They making excuses for playing bad. They just playing bad.
They can't figure out why they're losing. And so the fail-safe excuse to put out in the media and to fans is either you got to play harder or you got to check your ego, right? But when they asked him that question, Lee, you notice he never said a thing about strategy or execution. Not one word. Oh, you know what? That was my bad on that rotation. I should have did such and such and such. And so adults my age, and Lee can attest to this too, we call that, when you fess up, we call that accountability and being accountable. But when you put a narrative out there, you can deflect when you put a narrative out there, the gossip resets itself. All you have to do is put one little drop of gas on some gossip, and the gossip will take over and have a life of its own. That way, you don't even have to ask those questions no more, because the gossipers are going to be like, I wonder who he's talking about. I know he's not talking about OG.
Freezie.
That's being messy. That's being messy, and now you're messing with chemistry.
And to say like the ego and stuff, Mikal come out there and got a handshake for everybody on the bench, even the 15th man, 14th man.
Yep.
What are you talking about?
Yep.
he just set out like a booby trap. He should have set out some bait for some nonsense instead of just saying I screwed up. But he's tired of saying I screwed up because he already screwed up 2 other games.
Right. And then plus you notice too, chat, and I'm talking to the chat, right? I'm talking to the people that have eyes and ears and can't be fooled by nonsense. You notice this year we talk about ego when last year we were not. Last year when we may have had, I'm not going to call any names because it's my heartstring. Like a few of my heartstrings were here and they may have had egos. I'm not the judge and jury. I'm just saying this may have happened, right? This may have happened. But last year when we may have had egos, Josh Hart didn't say a thing about egos last year, bro. Josh Hart didn't say a thing, dog. Josh Hart watched the roster get turned over in his face. And now ego is a thing? I mean,
I think it's how I think he knows he might be. If anything goes wrong, he gonna be the chopping block. If everything goes sideways, Freezie, if we have to make a move, he's our last chip. And he knows that.
No, he is the chip.
Yeah, I'm saying he's the last thing we got to go to. He knows that.
Right. And so, like, the thing is with Josh Hart, I want him to stay. I'm not throwing him under the bus because we all say some stuff that we wish we could reel back, or we have done some stuff that we wish we could do over. Right. We've all been there. Like, I shouldn't have did that. Right.
Nah, Freezie, I'm always right, Freezie.
And the words are gone before you can reel them back in. Right. But
that's sharing your thoughts without prefacing your words.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like some people, when that light come on, when that camera be in your face, bro, once you say something, bro, you can't reel it in. That's why when you see OG and Anobi in front of the mic, OG be like, you have to pry those words out of OG.
Because he's making sure he's saying the best politically correct thing. Sometimes it's not great to be unfiltered. I've learned that lesson a long time ago, especially in the U.S. Army.
When have you ever seen Mikal Bridges run to the microphone?
Never.
That's what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying. I'm not knocking Josh for trying to motivate his guys in order to win. You got to motivate them how you motivate them, right? You got to motivate them if that's your dog. You got to. If the one-on-one conversation don't work, you got to try to motivate them a different way, right? But come on, dog. The narrative,
intervention,
egos. Come on, bro. And when you say ego and you nebulous about it, that's like the enemy.
It's like a deflection.
Your own enemy.
It was a deflection, Freezie. That's all it was. Like instead of just saying we doing X, Y, and Z wrong, it's like a deflection to some nebulous nonsense just to distract people from the actual issue on the court.
Right.
Or maybe I can't handle the role that has been given to me and for me to take on.
Right.
The role as what, like leader?
No, as in like
on the court?
Intangible guy. He's supposed to be. I'm not saying he is, but I think kids probably put a lot of pressure on him to make a lot of decisions, and he made a lot of bonehead plays.
But Lee, think about who.
I'm taking the leash off of him.
But who shares in everything more than this team? When they interview Brunson, the dudes is like walking behind Brunson, shouting him out. Bro, when they make OG stand there with Han to talk, OG uncomfortable, bro. But who be behind him? It be Huck Porty, it be
Cat.
Yeah, all these dudes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when we talk about stuff like egos and all that stuff, bro, think back to when you watch the game, man. Josh Hart as a non-playmaker. Think about what I'm saying. As a non-play, the most of the starting five, he's the worst playmaker of them all. He's got triple doubles this year, bro. As the most non-playmaker of the starting five of him, Cat, Precious, Bridges.
He gets the least defensive attention. It's the least he could do.
Yeah. He's got
IQ, like you just been saying all day, bro.
bro, you think about Dre. Think about that, man. This dude is the least playmaking person in the starting unit, and we have had multiple games of 30 assists. How do you describe that when you say ego and selfish and all those words that are synonyms to ego?
It just felt like he was frustrated and didn't know to how to place blame, and he didn't have the answers in that moment, so he just created some BS.
He just created fuel for gossip. That's why things like that be dangerous. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm really careful on how I speak here. Like how I speak.
Personal accountability too.
Yeah, it's being, you got to be accountable for the words. Like, you got to be accountable for what you say, right? And if you're Josh Hart in that moment, we know Josh is going to be Josh. And we have to take things Josh say with a grain of salt, right? We kind of know who Josh Hart is now after 2.5 seasons, right? After about 2.5 seasons, you kind of know a player, right? It's not like in real life where it might take a few months for you to get to know somebody a little bit or whatever. You comfortable with them or whatever. About by 2.5 years, bro, you kind of know what you're getting, right? But Josh, though, some things like the way we move is in a city like New York, bro, in a media market like New York, you can't throw out nebulous things because millions of people will interpret the one thing you say the way that they want to hear it.
I think
Especially as diverse New York is.
You know how I know that, right? Because I do a YouTube show. And people in the chat tell me what I said, even though I know what I said.
Freezie,
Like Uncle Freezie hate Jalen Brunson. Come on, dog. Did I ever say I hate Jalen Brunson?
No, but Freezie, it feels like sometimes he wants to have the soundbite and being in a particular position where he's never gonna have this much spotlight. He's never going to be viewed as someone with a voice that gets clips or clipped
Yeah.
within other organizations.
Right.
He basks in it because you remember remember the quotes he had about McCall and his slump. It's like, why are you even speaking
This
on
is his
McCall?
opportunity, though. He's
Right.
trying to create. I think he's trying to build a career outside of this right now because he sees his own NBA mortality.
Well, he was in the finals. Remember, he was at the finals. They were like had him as a
I'm
like an
talking about
asterisk.
Josh Hart.
Yeah. I know they
Yeah,
had
he
him.
was.
He was at the finals on the big desk next to Perkins and Stephen A.
Yeah.
Smith and all
And
that. They were
Randall was the year before that.
yeah. No, Randall was. I think it was the same year.
Was it the same year? Okay. Either way. Yeah.
Or the year before. Either way, yeah. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I think he cares too much about shaping narratives, and if it doesn't come out the way he wants, he's just gonna say like whatever it is to change the topic or whatever. And he did that with McCall, where he was like, "Don't worry about McCall. McCall's gonna figure it out. McCall has a good game." He kind of like gloats about it,
Yep.
and it's just
Yeah.
like no need for the theatrics, man. Just
And
keep it
I'm
simple.
not knocking Josh, bro. I will defend Josh Hart's energy and effort on the floor every night, right? I have no question in my mind that that dude plays as hard as he can. Now, does he make questionable decisions? Possibly,
That man
right?
does a jump pass that nobody asked for 5 times every game.
And because in some of the questionable decisions, you don't know if he's doing that or if he's being told to do that and he's the good soldier. Well, like you legit don't know if Josh Hart is the Manchurian candidate or not.
And if
Right.
he is a Manchurian candidate, it's a coaching problem, man.
Right. Yep. He's a proxy. Right. Right.
Because I feel like he's given leash to make a lot more turnovers than any other guy, and
Because of effort.
because of effort, and because he's been productive, just like Randall had leash to like slack off on defense at points because he was the entire focal point of the offense.
Right.
And Tibbs knows he can't talk to certain guys certain ways.
Right.
Like that's part of the job for being a coach is to manage egos. When you speak about the ego part, it's more Tibbs that we talk about, Corey, than the players themselves. It's about how does Tibbs navigate around the egos, and some And even the players, former players that have been on the team, what's his name? The Tar Heel guard that we had on the bench that just was just hype all the time.
Reggie Bullock or Theo
No,
Pinson?
Theo Pinson. Theo Pinson on his podcast, and he was basically insinuating like Tibbs couldn't really talk to Randall in certain ways in order to get the best out of him.
Right.
So like some players have leash to do nonsense. Maybe Josh Hart is a hothead and you can't really speak to him in certain ways.
Right.
And in order for Tibbs to get his maximum effort, you got to live with the warts, unfortunately.
Right.
And that might be the media stuff. That might be the turnovers. That might be the boneheaded stuff because
Possibly.
if he doesn't do the boneheaded stuff, you don't actually get the good because he plays with all energy. And sometimes you want him to be like rein it in, but you're basically asking a journeyman role player to be a completely different person.
Right.
And
then plus they've unlocked Josh Hart.
Yeah.
Right. Because Josh Hart has always been a good player.
We got him looking like discount Dwayne Wade at points.
Right. Yeah.
Dollar Tree Wade.
Yeah. Josh Hart is, for all the old heads in the chat, Josh Hart is our Cedric Cornbread Maxwell. That's who he is for us, right? He's that guy. You don't know what he does well. You know, every now and then you'll see him in a scuffle and he'll look like the heart and soul of a team, even though Larry Bird might be the greatest player to ever breathe breath. Right? But you got Cedric Cornbread Maxwell next to him, and you like, I don't know what Cedric Cornbread Maxwell and ML Carr actually do, but whatever it is that they do it well, and the Celtics win with them and Larry Bird. Right. And that's what, and you need guys on your team like that. Right. Like, for instance, if I asked y'all what John Paxson actually did for the Chicago Bulls, y'all would be like, yo, he hit that big shot that one time. Right? Lee, do you know what John Paxson actually did for the Bulls?
Stand in the corner and shoot open threes?
No. He took the pressure off of Jordan in those extra big moments. You know, and also too, he was a uniter. He united like the guys who probably didn't kick it with Jordan like that. It made them feel like they were part of the team.
He brought the ball up so Scotty and Mike can rest, and he crossed half court and he gave them the ball and got out the way. Basically. And on defense, right? He came down the court with the point guard and got out the way. Basically. But like when you think about Chicago Bulls law, you think they're gonna hang John Paxson jersey up in the rafters?
Hell no.
Y'all don't even remember what. Hey, chat. Anybody in here actually remember what number John Paxson used to wear? No, right? But
5? No,
Five.
It
It was 5.
right.
I done seen that one jump shot so many times that I remembered it was 5.
Right, but what I'm saying is, the point that I'm getting at is like with a Josh Hart, he does so many important things. You don't really know what it is that he does except for his splash plays. Like it'll be like another team will have 3 big men at the rim, and Josh Hart will come out of the crowd with the rebound, and Tibbs will be gushing all over himself. Can't help it, right? Because Tibbs like that kind of stuff, bro. So Lee, ultimately to the point that you were making, right? To the original point, right? I'll say this. No, there are no ego stuff going on, right? Yes, Josh Hart is the de facto leader, even though he's not a captain, right? Yes, he does everything that Tibbs wants him to do and executes the play. He's the lieutenant on the floor. The general is on the sideline. The lieutenant is on the floor, right? Yes, Josh Hart is valuable and invaluable at the same time. Like his value on the floor can be measured in certain things, but what he brings to the stuff on the floor and off the floor, you can't put a value on it. You can't put a number on it, right? Because think about after all the tough losses, instead of Jalen Brunson talking, who do you see talking? Josh Hart.
His side man.
Yeah.
Well, because number one, because Josh Hart will give a soundbite, and Brunson will give you the generic Derek Jeter, give you nothing.
Right.
But we need to be
No,
better.
politically correct, smart, being a leader. I'm gonna come back to my team and holler at them by myself.
But
Versus being blurt,
but that's done
being what's the word? Like vomiting from the mouth with verbiage.
Yeah, just diarrhea.
But that's done intentionally. Like for instance, I'll give an example. Right. Anytime I feel like Dre is just gonna say all the stuff that I had been saying, I'll say something like calculated gymnastics. Right. And then Dre be off on another path, like, yo, why you hate the calculator? I don't really hate the calculator, but I know how a dynamic works, right? Like it's not any shot or disrespect at Dre, but it's a dynamic. Like two people that have been rocking, doing something together for, what I'm saying, an extended amount of time, kind of understand each other, right? It's kind of like
Me and Bully.
Like Rodney O and Joe Cooley, right? Like legit, when y'all two get together, I'll just say pasta salad. Virginia ham. Like really love Virginia ham, right? It's what I'm saying. Or like when Wise being a
I'm gonna take that shot. I'm gonna take that shot just so you can make your MF point.
Right. So like when we want to put a rock in Wise shoe, you know what I'm saying? We'll be like, Wise be on Coney Island eating them glizzies. We just put a rock in that man, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a dynamic there. So basically what I'm saying in a long drawn out way is Josh Hart is taking the bullets that Jalen Brunson can't afford to take. Right? We got to keep Jalen Brunson pristine. Right? We can't have Jalen Brunson in dust-ups and fights and bad words in the media and all that stuff. Because
you can't have him looking like Randall.
Yeah, the more you have the microphone in front of somebody, the more likely they are to trip up and say something. Not that they do it intentionally, but as the more that mic is open, it's like when you listen to Aaron Rodgers, right? Like when you Aaron Rodgers be wanting to say the right stuff, but then they ask him these off-putting questions like, "Hey, Aaron, you gonna be back next year?" Well, his contract says yes. So why are you asking me that question? I don't know. Ask Woody. And before you know, one bad thing in the moment turn into Woody Johnson got to sell a team. That's what I'm saying, Lee. Like I respect everything Josh do on the floor. And yes, I do think Josh takes bullets for Tibbs and for Jalen Brunson. And I think he does that intentionally to keep the New York media off the two most polarizing figures on the Knicks team. Because the front office ain't going to do it. No. When's the last time you seen the front office talk?
Never.
Right? You don't even see Cat talk. Cat is so polished. Karl Anthony Towns knew he was going to be the number one pick in the draft since he was probably in 9th grade, right? So Karl Anthony Towns' route there is different. He already got the media training. He went to a blue blood, number one pick in the draft, franchise player for a team. Karl Anthony Towns already been through all this stuff. He polished, bro. Right? He already been through that. Jalen Brunson ain't been through that. Jalen Brunson route is different. Right? And I'm not saying he's not good with the media, but what I'm saying is keep the pressure off Jalen by putting his man out front. Yep. It's like Busta Rhymes and Spliff Star, basically.
Yep.
Lee, you remember Busta Rhymes and Spliff Star? You don't remember Spliff, do you?
Seriously,
Lee
the
was
little
up there.
your little light skinned cousin, little
Yeah,
light
man.
skinned Nigerian cousin.
Yeah, man. The beige dudes, bro.
Lee was out there partying when the music was swinging, bro.
Mm-mm-mm.
And that's how you got here, Dre. That's how you
Lee,
got here.
Lee used to do the
And that's how you got here.
That's how he got here, bro. Love in the club, bro. That's how we all got here, Lee, is what you saying?
No, just my man with the calculator.
Yeah, y'all got here with
Yo,
Isley.
gangsters raised nerds.
Right.
Y'all got here with Isley Brothers. I got here with something else.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Now that we found love, what are we gonna do with it, right? But anyway, that's all I got,
Bust
bro.
it, baby. You know what I'm saying? I can't
You,
think of the automatic.
right. Lee, you got something else before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Listen, I'm gonna say this real quick. I have nothing major, but I'm gonna say this.
Dre, you see how he said, "Nah, man," but I'm gonna say this real quick.
No, because I had to really. When I thought about it, I had to gather my thoughts. I'm gonna say this. Yo, Knicks fans, this is gonna be a tough ass month. Relax, breathe. Don't take every win and loss personal. We're really treading water until we can get past this first not first half of the season, until we get to the All-Star break. Hopefully, by some degree, no matter how it comes or who is here, our front office will bring us some type of reinforcements, and hopefully, like, and I'm gonna say this for my man Dre, a geriatric coach, to find a way to assimilate them in our team and get the most out of them. But until then, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? East Blue Drew, I love you. I'm gonna holler back at y'all. I'm gonna fall back on that one.
Hit that
Queens in the building.
Yeah, man. So we gonna get out of here, man. The main thing I just Dre real quick, man, before we wrap up, man, get out of here. When it comes to the NBA, bro, it's the middle of basically it's the middle of January. Man, my birthday tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Man, I ain't really when it comes to the NBA,
man.
when it comes to the NBA, bro, them no worry we. Right? we not. I ain't even concerned. It's a million thing to concern yourself with, but the NBA ain't one of them. So I'm gonna get out of here on that note, man. Hey, Knicks fans, man, y'all stay up, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with us. Thank you for all y'all input and how busy y'all were in the chat. I appreciate all the comments, man. Y'all hit that like button, and we gonna get out of here. Peace, y'all.